This is the dude that was criticizing Abby in the last part.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for waiting. We're actually kind of early
here
this time.
We're here.
I am Nerdaholics, and welcome to Friday Night Tights. And we're going to go around the horn here. We have a lot to talk about, including a TV show that just dropped that had kind of a big, I don't think it was Luke Skywalker level like they were calling, but it was pretty big. It was pretty big. Unlike Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
Called him out at the beginning of the show.
I'm only above average, so I've never claimed to be anything other than just above average. That's it. You know? No big deal.
How's it going?
How's it compared to Ryan's?
You and I we all have we might have to watch the video, Jeremy, that Lore Star video we've been discussing over the last 24 hours.
Oh yeah. I made a video about it, and there's a lot to discuss, and we can get him on the show if you want. So we'll see. Not this week, but whenever. But there's a lot to talk about, but I watched WandaVision as well, and I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to get Friday Night Tights started. I will not advertise geeksandgamers.com, our premium membership, at all, since people have been complaining about me advertising geeksandgamers.com premium membership. I promise not to mention geeksandgamers.com premium membership.
Does that offer wait, does that Jeremy, does that offer premium memberships?
Yeah, we have premium membership over there for only $10 a month, but
only $10 a month.
In the event of not promoting it, I won't talk about that tonight. Specifically the premium membership. Yeah, geeksandgamers.com, the website.
That's less than a cup of coffee a day.
Yeah, I absolutely will not mention it, just to be clear. And
I
apologize.
Your restraint, dude.
Thank you, man.
Really
It's tough. It's tough.
That's stunning and brave of you.
It's tough. Yeah. It's tough. It's almost. Never mind. I was going to talk about it being as tough as someone's Jesse Smollett issues. But I won't go there.
Was it as traumatizing for you as it was for her?
Yeah. That was AOC in the toilet.
But happy to be here. 3,000 people already. That is amazing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you. You're beautiful people. We have Odin. How's it going, man? What are we eating tonight?
It's going well. I've got 3 delicious pieces of some DiGiorno pizza. Actually, no, this is the Red Baron. Sorry, Red Baron pizza with extra pepperoni. Oh, yeah.
Red Baron. He was a Nazi pilot in World War I.
Damn right.
Now, isn't that crazy?
Damn right. White supremacy.
Pizza.
What kind of crust is it?
It's the brick oven.
Brick oven?
Oh, man.
I mean, only 3 pieces, so I'm just like looking for things.
It's the only crust, Ryan. It's the only one.
Original Red Baron's okay, but you need to have the entire pizza on the plate. That's the only problem with Odin's pizza eating habits.
One day it'll literally be just be like the entire pizza. Like over the course of the stream, I will eat this entire thing. Maybe after Lent.
Maybe.
What, did you give up 5 pieces of pizza a day for Lent? You can only eat
and then
3?
I get it all back at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That works.
Catholicism is easy. I thought it was harder than that.
Sounds pretty nice, actually.
Yeah. What's up, Brian? How's it going, baby boy?
Not much. You know, we do have a lot of people here watching. Obviously, a lot of people reacted to what happened in WandaVision. It's pretty good idea of you, Gary, to decide to put Friday Night Tights just a couple hours after Disney drops like the biggest thing, whether it's The Mandalorian or whether it's WandaVision or whatever it may be going forward. The time slot works out pretty well to discuss it. If you didn't watch it, you're gonna get spoiled, so go fuck yourself, I guess.
That's that Kindle customer service you've come to get used to here on Friday Night Tights.
I mean, thanks for coming.
We're happy you're here.
We're so happy.
What can I do for you?
Thank you so much.
I treat the customers the way they treat me, and based on some of the super chats we've already had in today, I think we understand where that's going.
You mean like Kindle's sensitive beaver basher?
Yes, whoever that fuck is. Yes.
Just to be clear, can you repeat one more time what women did in the 60s?
Yeah, what women in the 50s and 60s had it easy. All they had to do was cook and get fucked. Those are your only responsibilities. You want to tell me how bad it was for women? How much you suffered? Shut the fuck up. I would take that for the rest of my life.
I'm taking it you're not a feminist.
That's real feminism.
Right there.
Exactly.
I'm no longer the most hated person on the show.
Well, I'm sure he alienated that 3.5% female audience I have on this channel. Oh, hey, what's up, Quarter Black?
Yo, what's up? Thanks for having me on again. I watched WandaVision. I'm ready to talk about it because
I am too.
what is going on?
Oh,
It's
wow.
actually
There's
getting
a
good.
lot.
I'm liking it.
It's pretty obvious at this point. If you're a Marvel,
I don't know
fan.
all the back stuff. I don't know Marvel.
Well, I mean, it depends on what they do with it. There was a little love for Captain Marvel, but there was a reaction too that I kind of liked after her name was mentioned. I was like, oh, that's good.
Oh, I am going
Yeah.
to clickbait the fuck out of a video for that moment
Yep.
right
Oh
there.
yes, because that moment was, oh yeah.
I'm all about it. Representation. Let's get the white lady out and let's get some representation.
Get the real Captain Marvel in there. Well,
Damn right.
the second most real, not the
Oh, yeah,
Annette
yeah,
Bening
yeah,
Marvel.
yeah. Now I know what
That's
you're
what
talking
you're
about.
talking about.
Yeah.
That was some shade.
I thought I picked that up too.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we have our
Little sly.
guest here because we're going to be talking about like where the MCU goes from here. And this person, actually reads comic books, which is nice. And he's actually read some of the modern ones. But first, let's get to Az, so I don't forget to introduce Az.
I thought you were. I honest to God thought you were going to.
What? I mean, how
I got
you
a few
doing?
things. First of all, fuck Odin. I've got pot noodle. This is a direct response to your pizza.
But it's pizza.
Shut it. Secondly, oh, that's it. Thank you. I need a full screen for this. Yeah, thank you.
hurt by this.
Secondly, congratulations, chat, on picking me up on the first mistake I've made of the fucking night. I appreciate it. There weren't Nazis in World War One. I know. It was a joke, okay? It was to try and emphasize that the Red Baron was not a good guy. I know the Nazis didn't come to World War II. You don't have to fucking be a pedantic bunch of wankers, all right? Thirdly, and now I'm Raj, this isn't going to sound as fucking heartfelt as it's meant to be, but R.I.P. Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't a Nazi in World War
wasn't a
One,
Nazi,
by the way. In actual fact, he fought against them in The Sound of Fucking Music
Yep.
because he was tricked like that.
He sang and danced and defeated Nazis.
And finally,
It wasn't one of the best Star
I
Trek movies
have
ever.
been paid by Jeremy to plug geeksandgamers.com where you can get a membership for $10. $10 a month
By the way,
for coffee a day.
it's a minimum $10, meaning you can give me more money and I won't get mad. Unlike Lucasfilm, you can give me your money and I won't call you a racist and a sexist, okay? Ryan might call you something, but I won't.
I guarantee.
And women, no, actually, I've got another one. And women, a very final one. I personally don't believe that in the 50s and the 60s, you had it easy because you could either cook or get fucked. I think that's bullshit. I think that carried on to the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
It's still an option
Today.
for
It
you.
could be today, but
Stop trying to be so
don't want it.
empowered.
No, not today, because today they're all on fucking Twitter nagging and
what
fucking
I'm saying. I'm saying
complaining
it could
about
be.
getting fucked and cooking.
it's on the table, but you don't want it.
Have you
Like,
seen
just
Yvonne
take the table.
Stogowski's ass in Mass Effect?
The male gaze.
Meanwhile, they fucking took a bunch of fucking woke twats, made Mass Effect Andromeda with blue tits and fucking orgasms everywhere, and it was shit.
Yes.
Von Stradowski, call me.
We got the same people who are celebrating Abby, who looks like
I
a
got
dude in
pot
a
noodle.
size tits, taking off her shirt and getting raw dogged from behind in one of the most disturbing scenes we've ever seen in a video game. Because Abby looks like a man. And but no, we got to cover the ass. We got to cover the ass in Mass Effect. So
Yep.
So,
ridiculous.
we got a guest here, a very prominent guest, and I apologize in advance. Welcome to Friday Night Tights, the great Eric July. Young Rippa, what's up, my friend? Welcome back.
Oh, of course, man. What's up? Appreciate you having me back. It's always a good time, man. And of course, I love everybody that's part of the squad, man. So I appreciate you guys having me as always.
It's just always nice to outdo Quarter Black and get 100%.
I don't even know why I'm here. I guess I'm just gonna leave.
And also for the record, it's this squad, not the squad.
Oh yeah, nah, those guys.
This is a good squad. That's the
Yeah.
shitty squad. Okay.
So, I guess we should talk about WandaVision. Spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, you can take 20 minutes, watch the episode, come back. We'll still be talking about it.
We'll still be talking about it.
Yeah.
Literally watched it before the show, so
This was the longest episode. It was, I believe, 27 minutes, right? 42 minutes it says, but there's about 10 minutes worth of credits, which I don't
I thought it
understand.
was only 36 minutes runtime.
I saw it's 42, but I did a lot of drugs in the 80s, so I could have mixed it up. 38, 42, whatever. I thought the episode was pretty good. I still feel the same way I have about this show since I started it. It feels like they're building up to something, which is great. I want to be happy because I liked the cameo. I thought it was freaking great, the ending. But there's like just little tidbits that God, it bugs me because every time I'm reminded of Captain Marvel, I'm reminded that Nick Fury got his eye gouged out by a cat, so he's cucked now, and how much damage that movie did to what was generally a pretty damn good film franchise, one that will never be equaled again. And however you feel about the ending of Endgame, that it was successful. It was and made most people happy. And can they do it again? And there's a possibility here. There's a real possibility here. If they don't go freaking woke and fill their shit with identity politics, they can blow this thing wide open. Because we haven't seen the Fantastic Four yet, which is one of my favorite things. There's a lot of Avengers we haven't seen yet, and it really makes you wish they hadn't retired Iron Man and Captain America, two of their biggest characters, and they're phasing out Thor because there's much, much bigger things to come than Thanos, believe it or not. There's the possibility of Galactus. Of course, there's Mephisto and a lot of, Kang the Conqueror. There's a lot of things they can do, which they can also screw up, which with the MCU. Which I still think is coming until I see differently, because they've been telling us this for 2 years, unless they change their plans.
This episode sounds like it's coming for sure. You're like, look who could have almost killed Thanos. Oh, it was Captain Marvel. Oh no, it was her.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, it's her. Oh, what are we forgetting? The Iron Man and the Thor and the Captain America that actually fucking did it?
How did they know that? Did they watch the film?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Monica Rambeau's been back
cameras.
for like 10 fucking minutes. Like, I don't know how she knows all this shit, but one thing I did notice before we talk about the good stuff and what we're looking forward to, the only, straight white male in the show is a piece of shit.
Yep.
That was very noticeable. The only dude who's a straight white male is an idiot. He makes the wrong decisions. He's a piece of shit. Just like we all knew after his introduction when he said, "This should be you up here, Monica." We all knew this was coming. And it's getting pretty predictable at this
technically,
point.
Vision identifies as a white male, so
he's just a massive.
Well, I mean, the decision he made they made it look like a piece of shit decision, but it wasn't a piece of shit decision based on what they see, what they know. Now they don't have all the information, but what it looks like is Wanda is in control and she's trapped thousands of people against their will. Now we find out later that's not the case. It turned out to be, but was it a piece like Nick Fury before he got his eye gouged out with a cat and turned into a cuck would have made the same decision. Absolutely made the same decision.
Well, Monica Rambeau tried to negotiate and say that she wasn't a terrorist and she wasn't doing bad stuff because she could have had more people in her.
That was her. Yeah, that was her argument. They could have done more.
They have thousands of people. Well, she could have had more if she didn't put up a barrier.
It's like you're both wrong.
What kind of excuse is that?
Yeah, well, I don't think Monica's
killed 12 prostitutes. They could have killed 24.
Yeah, could have been more. She's not that bad, okay?
Yeah,
she's not
white male.
Monica's not going to be wrong though. Like that moment of her trying to justify Wanda, it's going to be proven. I don't think I think Wanda's being manipulated by potentially somebody like Agnes or something like that. I don't know who's in. I don't think Wanda's the big baddie, and Monica arguing with the straight white evil male.
She's gonna be right. Yeah,
she's gonna be right. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot to love about this series, and I particularly think this is the best episode to date. There's a lot, but there is this dark cloud of identity politics hanging over it, and you know what's coming. You know what's happening. Yeah. You can see it. They're doing a great job with these characters. Monica Rambeau is a great character in terms of I like the actress that portrays her. Yep. They're doing a good job of storytelling. My God, man, Elizabeth Olsen, her acting, when she actually left to come confront them. when she was actually, you know, Scarlet. You know, like it was amazing. Like showing her acting chops. Like she's incredible. There's so much good, but you could just feel it. You could feel the identity politics all over this show. It's going to happen, and they're going to fuck this up. But as
it's
it
not with the
stands
main
right now,
cast though. When it goes into the town and we have the actual like the show and everything that surrounds the show and the sinister elements that surround it, none of that is touching identity politics. Nothing at all, and it's great. It's happening when it goes back behind the scenes to the FBI agent from Ant-Man. Why he's there for no reason. But even when Elizabeth Olsen, like I said, when she came out of the dome to confront them, to me, she was like intimidating. You know, she didn't. It didn't feel as if.
Yeah,
you know,
no, that was real.
Woman in front of it. No,
It was terrifying.
She felt like she could just fucking literally.
Yes, she did.
snap
It didn't
and
feel
you'd
like
all
the
be
show was
fucked.
telling you that she was badass.
Hey, did
She
it
was
sound like
actually badass.
her accent came back a little bit?
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
I thought I heard that too. Yeah.
perfectly,
My wife
yeah.
was like, "Wait, she has an accent?" I was like,
Yeah.
she does.
I don't
Yeah,
get
it's
it.
great. Yeah, I liked it. When she comes out, she's just like, you know.
And then she just
Fuck
walked
off.
back in and was like,
Yeah, and
she
just-
did like that's a
Here's my
great point.
fucking
She felt like a badass. The show wasn't forcing it. Like her
Mhm.
acting and the presence and the way it was shot. That, and again, that's just a testament to her acting ability. Like she just sold the fuck out of it. It was so good, and that moment blew me away. Yeah,
But the argument, I
God.
love the
Yes.
argument with
I
her
hate
and
the
Vision. That was just so
yes,
good.
when they both floated up. Like that was
Paul Bettany
awesome.
is-
Dude, Paul Bettany
So
was
good.
even fantastic.
The
in
both
this
of them,
episode.
they
His
are
acting is
they
so
are
good.
phenomenal. The pair of them are phenomenal, and they got
Yes.
such great chemistry with each other. You know, they must get on personally really well because they are just like bang bang when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to connection. And we could, you know, Vision when he was saying, you know, you can't control me like you're controlling these other people, and she's desperately trying to bend it around. And Agnes is, to me, she's the only one who's not fucking worried, but knows this is a show.
Yes,
'Cause
that's
when-
why I
when
think
she-
she's
when
in control.
Vision went, oh no, leave the babies, because she was expecting Elizabeth Olsen to say, no, you deal with the babies. And she's like, should we just take that from the
You wanna
top?
do that again? Yeah.
You know, it's all very casual. Whereas everyone else, you know, when the guy in the IT firm, for instance, when Vision let his mind go, he was fucking freaking it.
Yeah.
Absolutely freaking out, and Vision had to reconnect him
Well, the
back
same
to,
thing with
to
the I forgot what her name was, but the blonde girl that was like running the little group of moms. She did the same thing when she like came out. She was like, "What are you doing? Who are you? Oh my god!" And then she snapped back into it, and it was the same kind of thing. Is that fear? And then yeah, you're right. She doesn't have that fear. She just goes, "Oh, you want to do it again?"
And that's why. What was the office dude? The office dude when Vision snapped him out, like he didn't say Wanda. He said she, which you're supposed to think that's Wanda.
Yeah.
I think it's Agnes.
Could be.
I think it's Agnes.
So for someone who's not as who's Agnes?
That's the neighbor.
The neighbor.
that
That's
she's
her
the-
character name.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
And she seems to be super aware of everything
Interesting.
going on.
So then who's
Remember,
Agnes
she
going to
didn't-
be?
She
Do we
didn't
think?
freak out when the kids grew and all of that sort of stuff, and
Yeah.
they
She
even joked it in the show. Well, she didn't freak out when the kids grew up to 10.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is a villain in this show. It's pretty freaking clear. Yeah, I was gonna Eric, what'd you think of the show, man?
I mean, yeah, it's decent. I mean, I'm still not over the Monica thing. Like Monica, I know that people are like, because of the actor and the portrayal and all of that. That doesn't change for me the fact they fucked this character up from the get-go, having her look up to Carol Danvers. I have not gotten over that, and I know that there's a whole dynamic element that is going to be introduced in the future because you know she had that whole aspect where she was like, oh no, we basically no, we're not talking about her, we're talking about Wanda type of shit. And I understand that she's throwing shade, but as far as I'm concerned, that they fucked that like from the get-go, and that's a Captain Marvel movie thing that I'm still not getting over, because what for me it seems to be is they're going to set this scene up for her to end up filling this role as that. And I know everybody else is excited. I'm fucking not, because I would much rather her be Spectrum as opposed to Captain Marvel, considering that now it's not that she was Captain Marvel just as she was, let's say maybe in the comic, where she had no connection to Marvel like Miss Marvel. They called the newspaper called her Captain Marvel. It was not because of her connection to Marvel, but now in the MCU, we have this precedent set, like she was the one that started this whole ordeal off, and now Monica's kind of being set up to be groomed to end up being the next Captain Marvel. So she'll always be in Carol's shadow because of that, because that's who was the Captain Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That is something that I have not gotten over, and I'm still kind of like, my frustration with, I know I don't have as positive of an outlook as everybody else on the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No, Ryan hadn't talked yet, so go ahead. You're good.
But that's true. That's very true. But my thing about this is that they have these odd kind of deviations from not necessarily just the books, but it's like if you pay attention to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as an instance, or rather as an example, every single major like villain or major like plot point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was a variation of what already happened in the comic books. Endgame and all of that is basically the Thanos quest going into that whole ordeal with him snapping twice. That was straight out of the books. It's the same, like it's not the same exact thing, and of course they missed an opportunity with that. But Ultron, everything was something that they had pulled. Every major plot point was something that Ragnarok, something they can directly pull from the books. And they have these odd, just senseless deviations when it's like, okay, hey, this is something that we can do. It doesn't change our plot points or anything, and that we can acknowledge what we people know exists, what is true to the character, and they completely fucking say, you know what? No, like we're just fucking not gonna do that. And not only Monica is doing that, and some people that are familiar with Jimmy Woo, it's the same thing with him. I don't know who the fuck that is, but that actor does not act like I would imagine Woo would act, and hopefully we get the Agents of Atlas and all of that stuff that ends up happening. So for me, Marvel Cinematic Universe proves yet again that if you know the material, this ain't the universe for you. And they're like, fuck it. Like we'll sometimes pull the names and shit of characters, but everything else just fuck it. We bring a bunch of writers.
It's very similar to the Star Wars stuff. They're doing the same thing
exactly
to the
when you got it's doing writing for you and doing like this fucking shit.
Like we'll pull names and we'll pull events, but
they skip like, okay, let's go back to the Infinity Gauntlet. Like one of the best fucking moments is the beginning when Silver Surfer comes crashing down and he's in Doctor Strange's couch. I mean, and they tried to replace it with Hulk, but it's like it's nowhere near as cool as what it was in the comic. And of course, they didn't have Silver Surfer, and I get it. Or what you're talking about, Erica, Marvel being Annette fucking Bening. Fuck that. Fuck that. So they have an opportunity to fix that shit.
I know we're kind of far removed from that, but I cannot get over what the fuck they did to Marvel in this universe. And it's not just that, because they had a golden opportunity with this whole deal. Because you remember, after the Guardians of the Galaxy, they had that whole illusion that the fact that Adam Warlock was a thing. Now,
yes.
Of course,
where the fuck did that go?
Yeah. Like I don't like the fact that Aisha exists before him, but that's neither here nor there. They at least acknowledged the fact that he was a thing. And that would have tied not only into the actual comic books, when you consider Thanos' quest going into the Infinity Gauntlet arc, where who was the guy that fucking saved the goddamn show anyway? It was Warlock. It was Adam Warlock, and then that went into the Infinity Watch. That was right there. They set it up perfect. Like, instead of Captain Marvel's stupid ass coming at the end of whatever Endgame to come show how strong she is, though she has no purpose, there's no benefit to her being there. She doesn't change the arc or anything. She could have easily been left out of this whole deal. That should have been fucking Warlock coming in right there. And that would have been not only a nod to what happened in the books, but it would have made sense because you set the shit up. You set it up, and then you just completely ignored it. So that's my frustration with where the MCU is going. Like, I'm not saying I don't want anybody to get it twisted. I don't dislike like WandaVision. However, like everybody here is saying, like, that shit is hanging over, and that shit's gonna end up happening. And I'm sitting over looking more so from the plot standpoint and how they're setting up Monica. They already fucked the character, and it's like they're just gonna go all the way weigh in on it. And the reason why I know the Star Wars fans can attest to this the same thing is that they're getting people to be a part of these projects that have zero connection to these fucking characters.
100%.
Like
100%.
you know that, and this is what's so frustrating. I know Star Wars fans can agree with me on this. Like, you know, the insane amount of talented people that are super fans of these genres and these IPs, like that could write off a story like nothing else and can respect what has already taken place and can respect that IP. That's not the direction that Disney is going. They keep bringing on people. There's no evidence that they ever even fucking this is not only happening in the books, this is happening also in the movies. There's no proof that they've ever even had any connection to comic book characters like comics or anything like that. And that's so frustrating for me as a fan, because it doesn't matter what the hell I think, because that's not their appeal. They're clearly just trying to appeal to just Joe Blows, and to their credit, it's fucking work.
Yeah, no.
You're just
Well
a toxic
said.
fan. You're a toxic
That's
fan.
true.
Well, yeah, who
Get out
bought
of the
comics
fandom,
your entire life?
We don't need
You're,
you anymore.
you're just a straight white male, Rip.
That's
Well,
true.
this is why you need Gary.
That's what straight black people are anyway. The straight black people are the
Yeah.
the white men of black people.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Listen, I've been saying that for years, so welcome to the
Hey,
party. Kyle.
I just want to acknowledge
Welcome in.
that Eric July finished ahead of me in the white supremacist list. So just want to point that out.
That's kudos.
Kudos, buddy.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was thinking about this today. Like, I totally agree with everything Rip has said about them taking these things and not really caring about how they bastardize these stories. And like Gary pointed out, some ways they kind of had to, because some of these characters they didn't have the rights to. So to tell the stories they wanted to tell, they definitely needed to change it up. But I also think that I was like, I'm a DC guy. I've always been a DC guy, which is why I get so frustrated with Warner Brothers when you see Marvel taking things that you said you were going to do 5 years ago and you haven't done yet by, introducing the multiverse. You were supposed to do that with that Flash movie that was originally supposed to come out like 2017. It's now not coming out till at least 2022, if it ever even comes out.
I would even say that, Ryan. I'd say as a DC fan, because I'm a DC man myself, the frustrating element is you've had 2009 onwards, you've had Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Captain America, First Avenger, Captain America, Winter Soldier, then you've gone into, if you had Avengers before. So you've had this build up. Then you got fucking the DC universe coming running going, Batman, Superman, Superman, one cell back.
That's exactly how it is.
Different issue. Their issue is they just mismanage
They
fucking
just fucking
everything.
shot the watch. Just like some little fucking ADSD kids just running the room gone, fucking jizzed everywhere and then ran out.
Batman versus Superman, Justice League now.
Marvel has a plan. Marvel has a plan. They develop a plan. They stick to a plan. And I was thinking to myself how even though they go after these things quick, they're also super patient with some things. Like, it's crazy to think that we didn't hear the words Avengers Assemble until fucking Endgame. You know how crazy that is to think of? That is something that would have been so easy for them to throw in, but they saved that till fucking the 19th movie. So I'm
you want to know why? And it's the worst reason. It's because they think it's a goofy saying that they don't want to use over and over again. So they just wanted to use it once at a pivotal moment because they think it's silly. And that's part of the problem, dude. And we've seen this progress with the Marvel universe. And listen, I liked WandaVision. They have an opportunity to fix everything right now. They can
thing. They absolutely could.
Yeah, they can fix, because what yours, Eric, with Monica Rambeau, they took away her independence from everything else. You're right. She was an independent character that was introduced in the 80s. They made sure not to connect her like that. And that was done in 1979, 80. I can't remember the exact year. So they have, they could make the Fantastic Four. They could have been around the whole time. There's a possibility she could have already, Wanda could have already said no more mutants a long time ago. They can fix a lot of shit and bring back, I don't know, Iron Man and Captain America. Fucking cast them. You can't retire these characters. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You mentioned that you don't think there's a Luke Skywalker moment. It's not, and I don't think that's what she's referring to.
No, of course not. She was referring to the surprise part about it. That's what she was referring to.
Well, no, here's the thing.
This one. No, you're right. You're right.
This Quicksilver reveal leaked like first of all, there were rumors about it for forever.
Yep.
The entire scene like leaked online like a week ago. It was all over. We knew that this was going to happen. And then after that, after the blowback from all that leak, then Elizabeth Olsen came out and said, you guys have no idea yet. There is a Luke Skywalker moment, you know, ask for this. I don't think this is the last big surprise that we've seen, because Quicksilver is not Luke Scott. This type of thing is not.
But that was cool. That was fucking.
I think
that was totally fucking cool.
Turning up. I'm pretty sure Magneto is going to turn up.
No.
But I will say this is bigger than just Quicksilver in terms of it's what it represents. With the X-Men universe.
They just blew the MCU wide open.
Yeah, because that would have been what's his name? What's the other guy? Aaron Taylor.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, so if that would have been Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's like, okay, that's cool. But this Quicksilver showing up, like that opens up so
Do we have
many
some Michael Fassbender Magneto coming down the pike?
Because you're like,
Jackman.
You're asking yourself, like, are they just recasting and they made a point to say recasting, or is this the introduction of the X-Men universe within the MCU, which I think it is.
Well, I think it totally is.
It's the introduction of the X-Men. I don't think it's going to be all of the X-Men from Fox, but they can now. I mean, like,
did anybody listen to the descriptive audio?
No,
because that tells you exactly, what they're doing. It's not a simple recast. The descriptive audio says, like, when she opens the door, it's like, it's Quicksilver as he appears in the X-Men film franchise. That's what the descriptive audio said for the Vision aired. Yes. So that's 100% what they're doing, and that's the obvious connection we all made. But to me, I think there is more coming, because after all that leaked, then for Elizabeth Olsen to say this about this big cameo and more surprises in store, there's only 3 people that can mean to me in that type of thing, and that would be fucking Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Professor X, or Magneto. That would really be the only things I could think of that would happen. And so someone reminded me too, we were talking like everyone who like goes in there kind of loses themselves. Well, we saw Wolverine with Days of Future Past. He was able to survive that because his brain like automatically heals itself and shit. So maybe he wouldn't be affected by that kind of thing, whatever. I think that we are going to see maybe the X-Men, if they're not brought here, maybe they go here after Quicksilver was taken from them.
Professor X wouldn't be affected. If Magneto's helmet's on, it might not affect him either.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. There's a lot of people it wouldn't affect. That would be there's a huge opportunity here, and we did talk about this, and I don't know. I think as far as entertainment is concerned, we took a giant step back. The events over the summer with all the rioting and looting, I think they really bought into that, and they think it's 2016, and that's what they're going to try to sell. So before that, they really we're leaning towards we need to do some fan service here because we're losing people. Like Hollywood has lost a bunch of people. And the streaming wars are raging right now. And outside of Luke Skywalker's return in The Mandalorian, there's no real standout moment. There's good shows out there, like 1 in 100, sure, but there's no standout moment. There's no Game of Thrones. After the divisiveness of a year, people are going to remember that shit for a long, long time. There's some stars who don't even realize their careers are ruined right now. Like anything they're in, nobody will watch. Like a Patton Oswalt. I mean, people love him in fucking Hollywood, but you put that guy on screen for anything, people will turn their shit off quicker than you know. And, you can see what happens when you positively interact with fans. Gina Carano is now like one of the most popular stars in Hollywood, and it's because she interacted with fans. It's not like, her performance, her performance was fine, but it was through her interaction with fans. So yeah, it's got to be the year of the fan. It's got to be the year of fan service. So we are on the precipice here. Like, are they going to really just do that now? Or are we going to go full woke? I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think they're going to compartmentalize their woke, and they're going to continue to
X-Men cover that's super rare.
Now it blew up, and now all of a sudden they have powers.
Perry Burns.
But that is the difference.
They're not allowed to. It was a rights
thing. They just switched things. They're like, well, instead of that being his inspiration, we're going to make it Iron Man. You know why? Because everybody, Wolverine, it's all about really respecting women. That's what they're
that don't even know. When I like a
connection we all made. But to me, I think there is more coming, because after all that leaked, then for Elizabeth Olsen to say this about this big cameo and more surprises in store, there's only 3 people that can mean to me in that type of thing, and that would be fucking Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Professor X, or Magneto. That would really be the only things I could think of that would happen. And so someone reminded me too, we were talking like everyone who like goes in there kind of loses themselves. Well, we saw Wolverine with Days of Future Past. He was able to survive that because his brain like automatically heals itself and shit. So maybe he wouldn't be affected by that kind of thing, whatever. I think that we are going to see maybe the X-Men, if they're not brought here, maybe they go here after Quicksilver was taken from them.
Professor X wouldn't be affected. If Magneto's helmet's on, it might not affect him either.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. There's a lot of people it wouldn't affect. That would be there's a huge opportunity here, and we did talk about this, and I don't know. I think as far as entertainment is concerned, we took a giant step back. The events over the summer with all the rioting and looting, I think they really bought into that, and they think it's 2016, and that's what they're going to try to sell. Before that, they really we're leaning towards we need to do some fan service here because we're losing people. Like Hollywood has lost a bunch of people. And the streaming wars are raging right now. And outside of Luke Skywalker's return in The Mandalorian, there's no real standout moment. There's good shows out there, like 1 in 100, sure, but there's no standout moment. There's no Game of Thrones. After the divisiveness of a year, people are going to remember that shit for a long, long time. There's some stars who don't even realize their careers are ruined right now. Like anything they're in, nobody will watch. Like a Patton Oswalt. I mean, people love him in fucking Hollywood, but you put that guy on screen for anything, people will turn their shit off quicker than you know. And, you can see what happens when you positively interact with fans. Gina Carano is now like one of the most popular stars in Hollywood, and it's because she interacted with fans. It's not like, her performance, her performance was fine, but it was through her interaction with fans. So yeah, it's got to be the year of the fan. It's got to be the year of fan service. So we are on the precipice here. Like, are they going to really just do that now? Or are we going to go full woke? I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think they're going to compartmentalize their woke, and they're going to continue to if that's the compromise, if you're going to put woke, like for Star Wars, if it's going to be the Let's High Republic, that might be good enough for some people. I don't think it's going to be like that. But with the MCU, though, I think they had a lot of plans in motion already. That shit that was filmed, shot, paid for, that we're going to have to get by before there's any possible correction.
Yeah, they have a great opportunity here. And this is what I called when the whole multiverse thing was when it was basically confirmed that it was a thing. I was like, this is more so an opportunity for them to right wrongs. Not even just that in combination with the snap. Like they could correct so much. It's like you guys mentioned with the mutants, with the Fantastic Four. If all of this stuff, it could have been an instance where they already exist. All sorts of things that could correct that will right the wrongs, but I just unfortunately don't believe in any of them. The books have been dog shit, and when you consider the direction that they've been going with everything else, with their hires, these really social political hires that they're bringing on board that have zero connection. I mean, I do it myself. Like I was talking about this, and this is what kind of let me know that Marvel has absolutely zero desire to try to pay attention to the folks that have, I don't know, for decades been propping them up. It was when they hired that Ta-Nehisi Coates guy to write Black Panther. And I'm looking up, I'm like, okay, he got a role that makes no sense. This is one of the most prominent characters, black characters that exist in comic books. They would at least get someone that knew what there's no like even fiction writing, let alone comic fans show like proof that he was ever a fan of any books or anything. Like that doesn't exist until it was announced that he was hired. Then all of a sudden he's like the biggest Hickman fan. I was like, well, you haven't said that, and I've looked it up. I was like, he's had to mention it at least like maybe in an interview or something like that. No, it's not a thing. They are bringing people up. The guy, and I think I talked about this on the last show. For those that don't know who Ta-Nehisi Coates is, he won I'm not lying. The award that he recently won is called the Harriet Beecher Stowe Award for Social Justice. Like that's not I'm not renaming it that. That's the name of the award that he won. And that in itself was like, wait a minute, why is this guy there's no evidence that he was ever a fan of any of these these characters, and then guys don't get work, like Kevin, who is the creator of Blue Marvel. For those of you guys, he's a good friend of mine. I'll have him on my show here soon. It's not like they're giving him work. You know, he at least has connection to books. He at least, you know, he created one of their most powerful black characters in the recent decades. Anyway, it's not like they're sending him work, but this guy gets fucking work. And we see that sort of manifest itself not only in these books with Kelly Thompson writing Captain Marvel, and she's writing Deadpool right now. She's writing Black Widow. Like, even though she produced that dog shit line, it's like they set us up, and all of that is leaking out into the Marvel Cinematic Universe when you pay attention to the hires. I mean, with Black Widow, even with some of the Black Widow, like, you got people literally saying like the source material is inconvenient. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to pay attention to that because that gets in the fucking way of what we want to do and what we want to achieve. And this is why going into the future, I can't. No matter if they set me up like, this show seems kind of decent, you know, I can't go all the way because, I mean, considering their hires,
you can't trust them.
The source
seen it
material
so many times, and that whole aspect of like these people that want to get involved in the industry and take over characters that already have this established fan base. It represents who these people are. They're lazy as fuck. They don't want to work for anything. All they want to do is take something that's already established and then push their nonsense into it. Because they can't create new characters from the ground up with their social justice bullshit. Because
hired on talent.
Number one, they're lazy as fuck and they don't know how to create anything from the ground up. Number two, they know that people aren't just going to support these characters from the ground up because no one gives a fuck about this stuff. They only want to use characters that have an established fan base, and then they want to push that bullshit into the fan base and get results like The Last Jedi got or The Rise of Skywalker. It makes $1 billion even though it's diminished returns, and then they're going to say, look how much money it made. And the only people that hate it are racist Nazis who are against us. And it's like, no, these are actually people that have spent like decades following these characters, and you're just trashing them. And it's all this victim mentality. It's a lazy group of people that don't want to work for anything.
This is from Adam Lance Garcia. Storytellers shouldn't be expected to adhere to an obscure reference from a mid-90s. Bullshit. that's the whole fucking attitude.
Maybe the good fucking.
No, but that's what separates a good writer from a bad. I say this all the time. Like, a good writer can take what exists. They know they didn't create this shit, right? So they get they reference material, and then they write new, fresh stories. We've seen this even happen in recent eras, like with the Rebirth era Detective Comics with guys like Tomasi and James Tynion, who did great jobs of respecting what has already happened. But that's not what their agenda is. What they want to do is, it's like, you've seen their Indiegogo campaigns. They can't create shit on their own. They're unsuccessful. So what they have to do is hijack what already exists, what people are already familiar with, and then they utilize that. And because they're so controlled by their political slant or their social views, it has to be a part of, it's like their responsibility. And because it's a big club that we ain't in, they'll continue to bring people on with these projects that don't even know. And I'm a complete Star Wars normie. Everybody knows that. And when I saw Chick doing this shit, I'm sitting here like, bro, even I fucking know what the fuck. Yeah. And like, they just let that happen. They actually aired this, like they really let that happen. But it says more than what meets the eye. It's showing you that they are willing to hire people that have no connection to this material. And unfortunately, they then control the future and the direction of where these characters are going. And because of social slants, like you guys had said, they'll call you racist, Nazi, feminist, transphobe, whatever, to try to shield themselves from whatever dog shit depiction of a character that they're about to put out there.
Yep.
No, and
well, I mean, look,
they've been infiltrating Marvel from the beginning, since Amanat was there, since Axel Alonso's days. Right after Quesada left, that's when things really started changing, and they started hiding people who were political playwrights, which this should sound very familiar to Doctor Who fans, because that's who they hired for season 11 and 12 to write as well, political playwrights, and with no experience at all in Doctor Who and Star Wars, none of that, because they don't care. And then they come out and say, I can't keep my politics out of my book. And you wonder why people are pissed off. And it keeps being spun as this, it's a right-wing narrative. No. There's a lot of people in this chat who are not right-wing, although you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. No, it's people tired of the preachy bullshit. and the intersectionalism, which isn't even, I don't know what issue that is. I think that's a fucking universe all on itself. That is some weird shit. And because of Marvel's fucking racism, that you can't have a Hickman or someone write Black Panther anymore. A white man cannot write Black Panther anymore. How are you fucking kidding me? And Christopher Priest, you know, bless his heart, he wrote the best Black Panther, and he got tired of just being put on black books. He's like, I'm tired of it. I want to write something else. You know, and you know, good for him. And that's the best run I've ever read of Black Panther. So
For sure.
yeah, and now we got this. You know,
speaking of black superheroes, I saw this just a couple hours ago. Marvel's Blade movie finds its writer in Watchmen Scribe. So the one who wrote the god awful Watchmen series,
and his dog shit. Like this, like
It
make
was
no
so
mistake,
popular that it got renewed and cancelled in the same breath.
it did.
That shit's fucking trash, bro. Trash.
so she's going to be writing Blade. So
Yeah, look forward to that.
forward to that.
Because all
sure
I look
it's
for
gonna be
is that you get out of
fan.
a gender studies or you get out of race theory class,
You'd better
or
hope
Yeah.
you delay
you
our
fuck, you know,
quest
you
no
get
further.
out of these classes. That's all that matters.
will
To these people.
learn
They
what
hire
nobody
you
yet
based on your
knows.
ideology, not your talent, not your knowledge of these characters, not your writing ability. Do you believe what we think you should believe? Do you believe what our propaganda is going to be?
And
Yes,
and
you're
are
on the-
you going to call criticism people that are from right-wing
Exactly. It's a
extremist
psyop.
groups?
It's a psyop. They hire shitty writers to fulfill their narrative. Then whenever the narrative comes out, the readers, the fucking actual fans come out and say, "Wait, this isn't very good." Then they call you racist. Then they call you sexist. Then they call
Shield,
you
it's
whatever.
shield, bro.
Right?
Behind
It's a
every
shield.
attack.
And then they go, "Oh well, this is what it is now. This is the actual storyline." And then like Marvel now they can reference that and say, "This is real
Absolutely.
Marvel."
That's dude, and that's what they're setting up. Y'all understand that, right? I know y'all have been so disconnected from what's happening in modern comic books. I mean, holy shit! Like the amount of changes that we talked about it on my
Thor.
show, Neurotic, with Star-Lord and shit
Yeah.
like that. All they're doing.
Wolverine.
You hear what they did to
Wolverine,
Thor?
right?
Do you hear what they did to Thor?
Yeah, that just all that shit just happened. The whole Jane Foster's store, we're not that far removed from that being a thing in the books. That's like 2014. That was not that long ago. It specifically happened so they could say, well, we reference the
It's part of the
comic books.
canon.
I mean, you know, that's why they're doing that type of shit. So that's what you're going to see. Those versions. It won't be the classic versions and the versions of the characters that we're familiar with. It will be the ones that for anybody aside from me, I think I'm the only person that has read modern comic books, like probably in the world. Only person there on Wednesday. Those damn things are ghost towns nowadays. And if you read them though, and you see the direction that they're taking a lot of these characters, you can see that like these guys are writing this shit just so they can have an excuse to put it in a live action series, and then they don't have that fallback anymore, because that was a main criticism when they would do something that was stupid, a needless change. We'd say that's not who that character is. So now they're trying to alleviate that. So they say, okay, that's not who the character is. Watch
We'll change
this
it. Oh yeah, let's reset real quick. Star-Lord is now forced into being a bisexual. Forced. He had to capitulate. Iceman was turned gay by Jean Grey. Instead of creating new characters that are gay, you
the
could
X-Men that are already gay, North Star. No, fuck all
Thor,
of that. Just make
exactly. They had a gay character for fucking decades already. And Thor is now a mutant. Did I hear that right earlier? Yeah, Thor. Somebody said that in my live stream, that they're reworking something to make Thor a mutant.
So who's Odin and who's?
Yeah, what is all of the?
I'm behind, so I can't. If anybody asks me, I'm behind. This is still fucking. I'm fucking. This is Guardians of the Galaxy 5, written by that dipshit Al Ewing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't know if there's some alternate universe. Somebody brought it up in my chat yesterday. So if you want to fact check me on that, that's fine.
homophobic is it to do these things?
Every attack.
They think it's woke. No, it's not woke. It's bigoted and it's homophobic.
Yep.
It's projection.
Because you are saying that you are who you are. Your sexuality is what it is. But you're not. You're saying, oh no, now Wolverine is choosing to take it up the shitter from Cyclops.
Yep.
Or, sorry, that's bad. Or vice versa. You could receive it from Cyclops as well.
Damn it.
You're saying that Star-Lord, who's been heterosexual all his life, has now decided that he's also going to receive from a gentleman. That is decision making. That isn't you are who you are. You're making physical decisions on that. That's bigotry. That's bigotry, and that's homophobia, because you are pushing something on some character that's never existed. And while you're congratulating yourself, but we know why they did it with Star-Lord. They did it to piss off Chris Pratt.
Exactly.
Pratt, sorry, they did that completely, and they did it with Wolverine, because Wolverine is an alpha character, always been an alpha character.
Yeah.
So the demasculating Wolverine, and they're taking that. Same with Cyclops. They're taking these alpha males and they're diminishing them, and they're doing it. And this is when you think about it, they're doing it by playing with their sexuality. Fucking bigotry and homophobia at its absolute peak.
See, I think it's all really with Wolverine. It's all about really respecting women. That's what they're trying to show. You should respect women so much that if they can't decide who they want to fuck, then you should be willing to take it up the
other
ass.
guy.
Hey,
that's how much
you knew something was wrong when Greg Rucka wrote Wolverine complaining about gun violence.
Yeah,
when he has a Conan kill count. So it's fucking.
Dude, they're trying to shut down Punisher. They're trying to shut down.
Punisher. Let's get back to the actual episode of.
Please shut down Punisher. I don't want to see anything that they put
sell
out
the property.
Right now.
Sell it to somebody like Graham Nolan or something like that, or me.
Get it out.
I'll buy it. I know what to do with the Punisher. I can have him shooting people.
Neil Cuckman would love to get his hands on the Punisher.
And the go. Yeah, I'm sure he would. A reach around.
I would not pay any money whatsoever to see.
Let's talk about the episode. So the actual episode, because there was good moments in it, and this was, I think it's the best episode of the series so far, by far, because the most things happened. So it was a slow build up. Aesthetically, I completely understand why they were doing the sitcom thing. Personally, I thought some of that sitcom stuff went on a little too long in the first 3 episodes, but if you binge this thing, which I did this morning, I watched just all 4 episodes again. It still feels really long in the beginning. It feels, and then it picks up actually in the 3rd episode that a lot of people didn't like, and really good. And aside from a Captain Marvel mention and the main guy at Sword being a complete, just toxic male. It was
white male, toxic white male.
I mean, it feels like 2 different shows sometimes, because every time Elizabeth Olsen's with Paul Bettany, it feels like just comfortable, good Marvel. That's and the sitcom part of it worked. We started getting some weirdness that felt a lot like Legion when it was very good. Legion used to be a very good show, and the kids grew up fast, and the dog, and we got Agatha Harkness. You were asking earlier, Odin. Agatha Harkness is a villain. She is a
someone mentioned it in the chat, and I looked it up, and it's like an old witch.
Yeah, she's a mutant witch. So the mutants have already been. So if she is Agatha Harkness, the mutants have already been introduced, but they got officially introduced. The Marvel Cinematic Universe folks, and in case you're just listening to us describe it, just got fucking huge tonight. Like, it was a pretty big fucking deal. I was engaged. Because the sitcom stuff worked in context with this episode with the kids, and they didn't stay on it too long, and they didn't force any bad jokes. And when Agatha got lost track and said, "Oh, do you want me to do that again?" Like they're doing and right in front of Vision, expecting Wanda to erase everything and reset everything, and then it doesn't happen. You start thinking, "Oh, there's more than it's not just all Wanda."
And then she just did that thing and made the dog tag showed up right in front of her.
Right in front of every. Yeah, right in front of her. And she was always around when something would happen with the kids. Agnes was. She was always around.
Always around.
She's always around when something
talking
happened.
to the neighbor.
Yeah.
And when the dog died, it was Agnes. Did Agnes kill the dog?
Well, Ralph. Okay. And who created the dogs? Did the kids create the dog?
I'm interested to see what they do with them. Wakan is one of those kids, obviously, and I'm interested to see what the hell they do with that. Definitely with their accelerated growth. So we're going to get a new speed in Wakan. Like that's an inevitable thing. Both of them are going to be a thing, and they're going to be both grown. I'm interested to see, because that will be a legitimately original gay character there.
The Asgardian. The Asgardian, which was his original name.
We'll see. I want to see if they like just beat us over the head with that shit. Because that's what I'm predicting that they'll do. Like, he'll probably have some deal when he's young, that'll be a big deal, and then like we're probably not gonna fucking hear the end. It'll be like a Batwoman thing where they'll spend like 3 episodes fucking like going through sexuality issues.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like Young Avengers, the comic. If they adapt it, because that was a good comic. That was a good
most
comic.
definitely. Yeah.
If they adapt it just like that, you're gonna have whatever issues you want in there. They don't get it doesn't get overdone, and you have a good superhero comic with a good fucking twist, and they can adapt that. You're right. They're gonna dwell on it. But no, Ralph. The big question is, who's Ralph, Agatha's husband, which I think everybody knows. I think we can say it, right? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Mephisto, right? Mephisto.
Yeah.
Mephisto,
I think I've heard that.
Mephisto
Yeah.
is like
They've been hinting on it all season. They've had little devil images everywhere, and
Comics
had-
backstage.
and they also had some toys leak.
Yeah.
So Mephisto is there, and
Okay.
so I have seen some people theorize that they're not actually bringing in the X-Men, that they're just using that as like kind of an Easter egg,
Like a hook.
but it's really Mephisto.
yeah. But
like-
it's still a way
like
of
that-
bringing them in. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like
I've heard
nod.
people talk about that. But yeah, Mephisto is going to
So
be.
what do you think it was? Okay, so the Quicksilver might actually be Mephisto, and he just drew on the wrong one. You know, he's like, well, that's your brother, and he just like, he was in a rush, and he just drew on the one because he can see all space and time. So
what's that? What's the? Is it Agatha or what was her name?
Agnes
Agnes
is
So
a
do you think-
character.
Hold on.
Agatha
Do you think they're
Harkness.
taking Agnes
Yeah.
and then Mephisto making him the same person? She's
no,
going
Ralph,
to be
Ralph,
No.
her husband Ralph, who we haven't seen, who isn't giving it
That's
to
what
her
I'm saying.
enough.
I'm saying,
yeah.
is she really him?
No, I'm pretty sure Mephisto's gonna be his own character.
Yeah, and
Separate
she is her own separate character. But could
Yeah.
be, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Marvel. So like
That's what I'm saying.
Rip
Like, I
was
wouldn't put it past them to be like, oh, put out this name.
Oh,
so
yeah,
all
not-
everybody
oh,
goes Mephisto,
absolutely.
Mephisto,
I didn't even
and then they
fucking
put
think
them
about
together.
that. Yeah, but you got to
Her Mephisto.
You have to put it. You have to put that on the. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, for sure. But they do what they do with Marvel. Who the
Yeah,
fuck
you're
said
gonna
that?
throw her name
Oh,
out there
that's a
and
good
then make
point.
her
That's a
actual
very good point.
Mephisto.
So shit. Now I didn't even think about that. You put something on me. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
that absolutely could be the case.
They could fix fucking everything. They could bring in David Hasselhoff, fucking Fury. They can fix Marvel.
Oh, I want to see that.
They can fix Marvel and make a.
I mean, I'm begging. That's one of my favorite characters of all time. You
Yes.
guys know that shit, and that's still a facade. Like I will get in a fist fight with whoever's idea that was Feige. See me in the ring, man, over that shit.
Feige.
That was, man, because I'm talking. Yeah, I'm watching this movie because I was at a dine-in theater, and I got these chicken strips, and I'm about to chunk the bitch like at the screen, man, because I'm like, what? Like that's Marvel. Like, and I was still like the only guy, not a fucking normie in the theater.
I was like, dude, why is this guy so angry? I mean,
what the fuck is this guy's fucking problem, man?
I feel your pain.
it's not a good movie, but damn.
Smoke's coming out of my ears, man. I'm fucking angry, man.
got so overlooked because everyone was so focused on the Brie Larson shit and all the other things terrible about that movie. That's kind of like what they did to Harrison Ford or Han Solo kind of gets overlooked in Star Wars because of what they did to Luke Skywalker. But yeah, Marvel absolutely, he got turned into a fucking woman. It's
It's
you don't get
terrible.
much more.
And like this is a pivotal character in the Marvel
Absolutely.
universe. He was in the first Marvel graphic novel. He was like
Exactly.
the death of Captain Marvel. Everybody read the death. It was like shocking. You know,
it was a big deal. It was a huge deal when that shit, when that job again, first graphic novel, first character to die like that, like the whole camp. That was a huge deal. When it happened, and it's like, yeah, he doesn't exist. I feel like the writers were like, oh, we can't have her referencing this man, the straight man over here. Oh no, we can't do that. So I think that's what's happening. But considering
that's not speculation because they say shit like that. That's what they believe.
Most definitely.
You know that's what they.
Yeah.
100%. They could not have her looking up to a male.
Yeah.
Because
No,
that's
they
their
were-
ideology.
No, it's that's part of the God. I got to bring that thing up again where they can't. It's about mentorship, and you can't have a male mentor a woman ever. Like, and
ridiculous.
it's going to be very hard to tell a story, without a dad. And that's what they're.
Well, that's why stories are shit.
Yes,
nowadays.
exactly.
Because they have to. They're trying to negotiate their way through these stupid fucking rules of theirs that it betrays natural order and just natural society. That you try and push them into these little corners, and that's why it's not working. And you look at what was it, Star Trek Discovery? They went out of their way to make sure there wasn't a white male character, not just in power, but a positive. Even the gay white character in the show was suddenly turned this season to be a fucking asshole for the vast majority of it, and capitulate to all the other members of his segregation community, because they segregated everyone in Discovery season 2. And it's the same, apart from, even in WandaVision, for all the good it is, there hasn't been a positive white male character in the show.
No stepfather man.
Bettany, that would be the only one,
because he identifies.
He's a robot.
He's a robot. Yeah, he's not a white person.
He's under.
He was made to be fucking perfect.
Wanda. He's not above Wanda.
He's not
under
authentic white. Yeah. He's not.
No. We have a super chat here from Kinnell's sensitive beaver basher. Wow. 20th Century Fox Quicksilver must be fun for Disney to be able to pull anything they want out of their arse. R.I.P. Christopher Plummer. Yes, rest in peace, Christopher Plummer. Was in Dreamscape, one of my favorite all-time movies. And yeah, that was sad. They're except for Namor, and they can't put Hulk in a solo movie. There's still problems. Amazing Spider-Man, that's still a bit of an issue. They don't entirely own that character, and they never will. They never will unless they buy Sony.
Fucking good.
Sony's got the box on them. I'm never gonna let go of that shit.
Eric,
fucking good.
I feel like give it time, they'll end up owning Sony.
I think the best Marvel movie might be Morbius this year. So
that next Spider-Man movie is going to be fucking amazingly bad. I think in every way.
People are gonna fucking be coming all over themselves.
Yeah,
because like, can you believe there's Toby? There's 18 villains. And that's what's gonna happen.
The end of, it was a terrible film, but people loved it anyway.
You know the end of cutscene from Far From Home.
Yeah.
The end. Where it's got J. Jameson and everyone's saying, "Hey, Peter Parker, Spider-Man." He's totally in a different universe. He's totally in a different universe.
New allies.
It's not the same.
That haircut.
He's been knocked into another universe, and that's what's going on.
Well,
it's going to be a cluster.
He's knocked into an probably. You're probably right, but it's a different universe. It's a different universe. Peter Parker, anyway. I had very long, lengthy debate with EFAP, Jeff Hicks, and I about that. Like, this is probably the worst version of Spider-Man. But
it's not even up for dispute.
It's
not up for argument. That is by far the worst fucking depiction of Spider-Man that exists. I know everybody loves him. I don't give a shit. But that ain't Spider-Man. That ain't fucking. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Garfield, for fuck's sake.
At least he was Spider-Man. He wasn't great. I'm not saying that's great. Okay, it's not.
Garfield.
But Spider-Boy, at least he was independent and made his own shit.
That's true.
Yeah. He was a better Spider-Man, but a terrible Peter.
I hate Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but if you're just talking about representing Spider-Man better, he definitely does it better than what's his fucking name?
Tom Holland.
Nathan Drake. What's his name? Tom Holland.
Crybaby.
Don't get me wrong. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Civil War.
I can separate the fact that
Spider-Man is really great.
He was good in Civil War and Infinity War.
I can separate the fact that I enjoy him a lot. But if you're just looking at who represents Spider-Man better, I mean, Andrew Garfield's a better Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is the Superman of fucking Marvel.
That's who he is.
Yeah,
Toby is still the king. Toby is still the fucking king.
Spider-Man is the Superman of Marvel. He's not a fucking side character. He's the main character. He's the number one fucking guy. Self-made.
I mean, he can't even in his own fucking this is what, second, third, whatever fucking movie it is. Far From Home, and he's still looking up to this motherfucking Iron Man. Like, they still can't separate.
Everywhere I look,
staring off in the gaze, I think about him everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck is
he paid for everything. That's why.
What happened?
It was like a father to him.
I guess Uncle Ben's like yesterday's fucking news, right?
Never even heard of it.
Like, how many times have we heard
Uncle Ben in this?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think maybe May probably mentioned his uncle like once in Spider-Man: Homecoming or something. Like that's it. But that is the difference.
They're not allowed to. It was a rights
They
thing.
just switched things. They're like, well, instead of that being his inspiration, we're gonna make it Iron Man. You know why? Because everybody loves Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. So they just change it to that.
He's a role model.
Well, that and the fact that we've seen the Spider-Man origin like way too many times that they need to change it up.
Well, that's. I mean, I agree with that. We don't need to see the Waynes get murdered anymore.
Way more times.
Yeah.
No, for sure, man.
I'll watch Spider-Man's origin a million times.
I was just about to say that. I don't give a shit. Like I said,
I'll watch it over and over and over.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, when you depict a live-action version of the character, it doesn't matter how many times it's been done. Like that. So don't use the motherfucker if you're so hell-bent on not at least acknowledging who what's core and fundamental to the character. Not saying it has to be exactly like the comic book, but if you can't at least address fundamentally who the character is, don't fucking use them. That's not what the character's there for. He's not there for you to sit up there and get like it's a free-for-all. Well, now I want to write a version of Spider-Man. Here he is. Now he's looking up to Iron Man, and he's not zero independence and all of that. It's just like it's not Spider-Man anymore. It's just a guy swinging around and shit in a red and blue suit.
He's a sidekick.
But that's it. That's not Peter Parker at all.
I'm not disagreeing with you, man. I completely agree. I think at this point we've seen it enough times to where they can reference it, but they don't have to retell the origin over and over again.
It's like Batman. How many times opening credits origin?
Tell the story in opening credits.
Not Spider-Boy. Nikki.
Well, yeah, that's what.
I think Snyder did it best.
Well, the other thing too is that
PBS did it.
Just of the Batman.
You know what's happening.
Yeah.
You see the pearls. You see him get shot. Boom, we're done. We know.
I think that the other thing too, at least with Spider-Man, is that he was burdened by responsibility after Uncle Ben died, and that's what we're not getting with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
No, he's too worried about his fucking phone and Iron Man and shit.
His girlfriend and stuff like that. He's not being an adult like he should be.
When your 13-year-old son,
not
whose
so MJ.
favorite character is Spider-Man forever, like at the end of the movie goes, that's not Spider-Man, then it's not Spider-Man. It's just not. It's MCU Spider-Man. People can like it in the objective, subjective context of what the MC universe is, and it certainly works fine in Civil War and Infinity War, but the actual Spider-Man movies are they're not very good. Love the twist in WandaVision this week. Rumor has it that viewership for the show has been weak. If true, think this episode will improve ratings. Yes, absolutely. And I believe the viewership has been weak because, Az did a review. I haven't even bothered to do a review because I looked at other channels who were doing reviews, and it's just not doing as well.
It's not turning the
there's
needle.
no interest.
Is not there.
The first 2 episodes, listen, it is a slow burn, but I'm never ever going to watch them again. They were like I know if you look back, we might see some references and cool things like that, but I never need to watch those first 2 episodes ever again if I ever rewatch this show. So I think that
you really don't.
That is a big reason why there isn't as much excitement. Now, after this reveal, I do think you will see more excitement. For us in our world, this is massive, right? What that means. Not everybody understands that. There's a reason that they had to explain who it was, because people don't immediately know. There's a reason that she had to say Pietro and Darcy had to say they recast her brother, because let's just be honest with ourselves. There's going to be a lot of people out there that don't know that that's Fox's Quicksilver, that don't know that that's different, that may not even know that, may not even have watched Age of Ultron or understand that. No, that's just where their audience is, and that he's just not that guy. He's not Hugh Jackman with Wolverine claws like the people would immediately recognize.
I think that the first 2 episodes are absolute quality. I am totally going to rewatch this probably when it's all finished in one sitting. I think the first 2 episodes were absolutely integral in setting up the fact that Vision is completely under the spell. Whose spell? We're not quite sure yet, but there's definitely Wanda tampering there. There's no doubt about it. Even if she isn't the big bad, there is definitely Wanda tampering in this. And the first 2 episodes just setting up this idyllic world with little tremors, undertones of sinister-ness here and there was phenomenal. From episode 3 onwards, we got little extras, and from episode 4, from last week's episode, the veil was revealed, and now we're seeing both sides, and we're seeing the disintegration of the TV show. That's really important, because the first 2 episodes, the show ran smooth as ever. It was a comedy show, it was a 50s show, everything was funny, and the humor and the drama was in the actual show itself. Oh, we can't get tea ready for our boss. Oh, he's choking on the food. Vision, take the food out of his esophagus. You know, all those little things there. But now Vision doesn't believe he's in the show. Vision knows that there's something wrong, completely wrong.
I totally get it. It led up to something. But we're talking about rewatchability. I just watched.
You can't just shoot you water. All these books. I need the action immediately.
No. I get it. We're talking about rewatchability. And watching it for the first time, it totally works. I could not agree with you more. And that's great. I just rewatched the 4 of them, and I zipped through the first 2. I'm like, I was just busting through parts, and like people might feel differently. That's fine, but but I've watched them a lot already too. I've watched the first 2 episodes. Like that was my 4th viewing of them, so I was buzzing through them by that. I got more out of the 3rd and 4th episode. The 4th episode is by far the best. I will watch it again for sure. I'm gonna watch it again after this show. I'll watch it again tomorrow. It's a good show. It's a good show. It has moments of MCU-ness, but overall, it's good.
It was the 5th episode.
By the way, this week's commercial break in the show.
Yeah,
who knows what it was referencing?
It was referencing the event that led to the Sokovia Accords.
Correct.
Yes, the one that you referenced in the show, right?
Yeah, the movie
blew up
in Civil War.
in Lagos.
Yep.
With the ratings.
I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, with the ratings issue or the viewership issue. I mean, again, I don't think those first 2 episodes are anything that's going to pull an audience in to be waiting week to week in today's culture. You know, I mean, I think they're pretty good. I haven't rewatched them yet, but where we're at in episode 5 makes me appreciate episodes 1 and 2 even more.
Yeah,
I really appreciate the path we're on from my perspective, but I understand from a viewership perspective why it could be struggling. Just fucking put Baby Yoda in the first 2 episodes.
Well, we got Baby Vision. We got Baby Vision in this one.
Yeah, in the credits,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wanted Baby Vision. That was fucking awesome, dude. Get on it, Hot Toys.
Ryan's head explodes.
Fuck babies, man. I hate them.
For that little fucking baby. That's what I wanted to do.
You would give Perry Chan a whole new year.
The twist was
if we get Baby Vision moving forward, Ryan's gonna hit 100,000 subs on his channel.
I love Baby Vision. Fuck yeah. So no,
I'm gonna need a new crochet thing.
I knew the twist. I knew the twist was coming, and I still thought it was fucking cool as hell to see the better Quicksilver and some of the better parts of Days of Future Past, which I love that movie. I like Days of Future Past. I don't care what
It's a fun movie.
Yeah. Days of Future Past is good.
So we got a couple super stickers here from Mr. Tickle Trunk and Phoenix Tangent for 2 Canadian pesos and $5 respectively, both with the Japanese dog farting hearts and then saying bravo. Thank you very much. All applause ourselves. Thank you, guys. Give yourself an applause. You're great. Love you guys so much.
When I applaud, it makes me lift up my wrist, and I have a Trump wristband. So if that offends anybody, fuck you. And I am not ashamed at all. Just to make that clear.
You're an insurrectionist.
You are.
No, he's an
erectionist.
Oh yeah. Got it wrong. I misspoke.
I'm not afraid because Apple is for fucking losers. So an Android. So.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you if you have an Apple at this point? What's wrong with you?
Yes.
Like, and that includes you on the panel too. I'll call all you fuckers out. What's wrong with you?
Channel. If you have an iPhone, you can't even click the join button on Nerdrotic's channel.
Yeah, Krista Nova finally became a member today. And again, if you're an iPhone user and you're trying to become a member of the channel, okay, get on a computer because your iPhone sucks and it doesn't allow you. If you have an Android, like a grown man, like a grown above average man, then you can become a member of Nerdrotic's channel.
It allows you to
now.
join.
Or it's in the description. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a link
button
right there.
Geeksandgamers.com, £10.
$10. No, not £10. Not £10. Because you're for some reason your little country, your little island's money is worth more than ours for some reason. I don't know how that fucking works
I have
out.
no idea how I have to break.
Well, it's because the queen is actually in control, man.
This is interesting. So there was a join button on Tim Pool's channel, but there isn't one on yours on the iPhone.
Nope.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I
brought it up to
Krista messaged me. She goes, I can't find the join button on Nerdrotic's channel on my phone. And
that's weird though, that some channels it has it and others it doesn't, but only on the iPhone. That's so weird.
It's a bug. So yeah, that's why I have to put it in the description, and I'm sure the Modrotics will share it too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, at no point did I mean to bring that up so people will become members of the channel. At no point am I trying to get people to become members of Nerdrotic's channel. I'm not here to promote. Yeah, I'm not trying to promote or anything like that. I'm not trying to promote that. If you can have your name in green.
T-shirts at teespring.com. Right now. 5% discount if you put shill like fuck like Jeremy.
Oh, look at that. Wait, Quarter Black, do that again. Do that again. There you go. That is sexy.
Get one of these up in your grill, put that shit on.
I didn't think I wanted to get flashed by Quarter Black. But
hey, and just so everybody knows, everybody knows.
Sure, dude, I got this tattooed.
Hey,
he's got green skin. Are you okay?
Look at there in the chat, okay? From my Android phone, I just became a member of Nerdrotic's channel from my Android phone. Look
Only at the proto-molecule level? Really?
Yeah. That's weak, Jeremy. God.
I'll change it up next year.
That is pretty weak. No.
Odin's like a goddamn woman. Odin's like a fucking woman. Never good enough. Just never fucking good enough. Doesn't matter. I've spent the past 10 minutes promoting the channel.
If you want to buy a T-shirt from me, I'll go ahead and post my T-string in the chat. There you go, everybody.
Eric, it's not usually like this. And by the way, if you do have some merch, Eric, let me know. We can pub it later. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know. So let's get to a couple more super chats here because we're not done talking about WandaVision. There's still
we didn't even get to the show at all.
Yeah, we're just getting warmed up here.
I think people are loving it, to be honest, judging by the tweets in the chat. They're enjoying this.
So seeing
fight more, guys, fight more. This is great.
Opposition HQ for £5. Seeing this WandaVision episode, I feel I imitate the emotional state of a Rock Larson will be the cameo of the finale. Hashtag RIP Christopher Plummer for fight. Dude, no.
I think there's something there. The Monica Rambeau, she threw shade.
Yes.
She threw shade. And there's got to be a payoff to that. There's got to be a payoff to that.
Let's talk about that scene. Why don't you describe the scene for us?
Monica Rambeau's black. And
thank you.
That is her character.
Very
I didn't say describe it to
that whole episode
to people.
I'm impressed how well they can keep that Pac-Man looking fucking haircut.
Oh, I know. Like, how does she put her shirt on?
Yeah,
just popping over that big ass.
But who's it? She was talking with Kat Denning, and I was just staring at Kat Denning's tits. And then they were talking about.
They were talking about Scarlet Witch being able to go.
Yeah, her name. Does she have a name? And they were like, does she have like a superhero name or whatever?
Which that's going to get paid off too, by the way.
And then they brought Captain Marvel in.
Well, no, she mentioned. She goes. She said. Well, they talked about her power and how she could have taken down Thanos by herself, which is completely untrue because Thanos,
actually,
last time I remember, actually,
oh God, was that all in the same?
It was all in the same scene. But like, if I remember correctly, Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet on at the time. Yeah. So no, she couldn't have. She could not have fucking touched his ass.
No, but they were fighting, and he took the fucking Power Stone out and punched a fucking face in.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm saying they're arguing about these two characters, and I'm like, are we forgetting about the other three characters that actually kicked his ass? We're not talking about those guys.
Yes.
Yeah. No, those are white men, and they don't.
Exactly. How did they know that happened? Like I said, did they watch the film on Blu-ray?
Yeah, they did. They did. So yeah, there must have been like little drones flying around.
That fucking area's been nuked to fuck. So it's not as if there's cameras there, and it's I've got this strange feeling. I mean, I could be wrong. It is Captain Marvel after all. But I've got a strange feeling that they didn't leave the battlefield and go, right, this is a blow-for-blow account of what happened. Hawkeye ran in with the gauntlet, all right? I don't think they did any of that nonsense. So how they knew any of that is
I don't know.
beyond me.
Well, they just wanted. They wanted to force in fucking talking about both of those characters. But let's talk about that scene real quick because that's what we were.
So so they said Scarlet Witch could have killed Thanos if he hadn't rained down fire from his ship, and then cuck FBI soy boy said, but Captain Marvel, she came in and she could have kicked her ass.
Totally.
Girlfriend.
And then what did Monica Rambeau do?
Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
And it should there is I do think they have to explain this because there's a lot to unpack. She looked up to Carol Danvers for some.
She got so much beef.
Goddamn crime, man.
Oh boy, Rippa's getting fired up already.
I don't know what else to call it. That shit was a crime. Like I was watching that play out as like how these characters have had zero connection. Why on earth are you having her look up the one original black character, one of the first ones, particular female black characters for Marvel? You have her looking up to a character that she was Captain Marvel before. You know what I mean? Yep. They're not even that far removed. I mean, yes, Miss Marvel popped up in the late 70s, but in the early 80s, fucking there was Captain Marvel, right? So it's not even like they were like far removed. They essentially came up with powers at the same damn time, for the most part. Yet they infantilized her, had her looking up to this character, and I know there's gonna be Plex there, but I'm willing to bet how it's gonna play out, and you can clip this scene if you need to. How it's gonna play out is they would have had some sort of beef. She would have felt betrayed or something like that. And what's gonna end up happening is that the new Captain Marvel, they're gonna embrace each other, and the new Captain Marvel at some point is going to be fucking Monica Rambeau. So. Yep. And it sucks because I don't want her having to fill the shoes of a character that she was in that position first. You know what I mean? I would much rather them had utilized, let's say, the multiverse to say that this version of Monica existed on another universe or something like that, and she was the Captain Marvel there. That would have made more sense, but they can't redo that. They unfortunately can't redo that.
No. And did you catch that they might have given her powers already for some reason? They were trying to scan her. Yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
So in the beginning, Monica is getting scanned like they're doing X-rays and they're doing blood work, and she's like, "I need this genderless random person, they them, the doctor."
They them doctor.
I noticed that too.
It was a pronouner. Yes, that's true.
Don't ask me.
A pronouner. Oh, I love that. A
pronouns in their bios, so we understand what to call them. Is like, I need to redo these X-rays because they came out, they looked like they were just super exposed. And she's like, well, what about the blood work? And she's like, I need to redo that again too. No one questions anything. She's just like, I gotta get to it. And so my question is, did the Hex give her powers?
Yes, because they foreshadowed it with their clothing, Ryan. So they took her Kevlar vest and that was remade into her disco 80s clothing. And they said she's remaking reality because of what stone did Scarlet Witch in the MCU get her powers from? What did they derive that from? Was it the reality, the mind or reality?
It was the
Mind Stone. Okay.
Yeah, because they had. Well,
now she's messing with reality,
right?
And it's red, right?
So derived from the same stone.
Yeah, so she's resurrecting the fucking dead. Well, or she's helping. I don't know.
Right.
But somebody turned a Kevlar vest into disco clothing. So that's, I think, foreshadowing that something got rearranged in Monica Rambeau, and she's got powers now.
So my question is
Kevlar vest inside of her.
My question then is: everyone in the Hex a mutant now? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's my question. And obviously, we know with them buying X-Men, like, they're going to bring mutants in. They already have mutants in the MCU. They call them Inhumans because they didn't have the rights to say mutant because Fox had rights. So you do already have mutants technically in the MCU. Are they going to start using that word because people are so familiar with it? There's so many things that just this episode, validates that we all knew was coming. That like that's why it's so big.
Well, I hope they're not going to use Inhumans. Inhumans are not well known.
Yeah, that's
they tried.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're still with the whole Miss Marvel shit. That's where the Inhuman shit's gonna fucking be a thing there. So hopefully they do keep it because they're not the same. They're similar, but they're not In the books, at least, they're not the exact same. But yeah, even that, like this whole, I don't know how this rearranging of this multiverse is going to change with the mutants being a thing, considering how mutants are supposed to had exist and them unlocking whatever gene. Like, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. I'm not the biggest fan of Monica getting her powers from a fucking stone or anything like that. I would have at least rather they, again, had some sort of semblance of fucking what happened. And for those of you that aren't familiar with how she got her powers when she was doing the naval bullshit or whatever, and she went to she was basically a part of this typical shit. They used to do this shit all the time in the 80s. Someone gets behind some machine, the machine blows up, and then you got fucking
she got powers.
Powers. That's pretty much how they always did the shit back in the 80s. But that's
Jeremy's got forklift powers.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't forget the cosmic rays.
He's all watch me lift this.
Working on this machine to do this, that machine. They went to check it out. It blew up, and all of a sudden they have powers. It's happened for virtually all those characters in the 80s, and it happened with Monica. But with them being mutants, and we know the precedent that they set. I don't know if the MCU or Marvel did themselves in, and maybe again they can utilize the multiverse, but did they do themselves in by saying that both Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver got their powers from this particular stone, or maybe it was one of the cases, and maybe we'll find out that the stone didn't give them the powers; it unlocked their X gene, shit like that. And maybe that's what it was, and that will be more respectable, and hopefully they do that.
They can roll everything back to the snap too. The 5-year jump is stupid, and they need to fix that. So I think that
would they then turn Monica Rambeau into a mutant?
You can't fix the 5-year jump.
Hopefully
you're
they
gonna
don't.
have
But
to.
they could. You could be onto something there. They could.
I don't think you can fix it. I just think it's too convoluted to fix.
Well, that's why you reset it. They're going to reset it. They're going to go back and probably reset everything. Well, because how are you going to have the Fantastic Four, mutants, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe existing? You can't just introduce the Fantastic Four. They're not going to do it. They were the first family of Marvel, so they're going to find a way to make them retro or something. And the mutants can't just appear. They're going to have to have been around for a while.
They need to do a Crisis.
I think
It's
they've already
going to be a Marvel version of Crisis.
They need to do a Marvel version of like
Galactus Crisis on Infinite Earths,
and just merge all the universes. That's simple.
DC fans are going to lose their minds if they do that.
I'm the one suggesting it, and I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose it if they do
Having
that.
Galactus show up is going to be unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. Like a Galactus, like that would give you a good reason to have a Crisis level.
Yeah, because considering that he existed on the previous Big Bang, where they kind of actually redid that. They
1/6 scale Galactus.
Originally it's like, his version of the universe blew up, and he was a survivor from that. They could pull some shit off like that.
Yeah. Well, the snap probably effed with reality. Like Tony probably messed it up because he's white and male. So and that's what brought Mephisto and maybe Kang.
There's probably something.
There's so many doors that are open. They could reset everything to move forward. Why not? I mean, it's not like the stuff. It's if people are willing to believe that they'll reset the Star Wars universe, which is much more believable in MCU, because I mean, they do it in comics all the fucking time. Now Marvel doesn't, but DC does.
Been a million crises. Is that how you say crisis?
Crises.
Crisis.
Correct.
Crisis in Infinite Tijuanas. That's going to be the name of my biography.
Crises.
Yeah.
Crises.
But I do think that like the stuff with Captain Marvel though, I think there's a lot of reasons for that look, because one, she looked up to her. She's probably mad because she fucking left Earth and never came back.
That's probably exactly what it is.
She's probably mad that her mother, because her mother was the one who did everything with
Notice how they haven't mentioned her father. I just want to throw that out there. Who is
good point
to this character? Can't have
not going to
black man that's not emasculated.
Yeah.
Good brother, like fucking everybody in fucking every black character in the existed in comics. But go ahead, Ryan.
Blade's gonna be a cut. Watch.
Male role models.
Guaranteed. You can't have no masculine ass black dude anymore.
What if,
he'll come back if she gets drafted in the WNBA. He'll just show up.
Az, what did you say, Az? I didn't
That'll
catch
be
that.
the most relevant WNBA age been in 10
male
years.
role models.
No, you can't.
In film and TV anymore.
Yeah.
He is such an integral part of who it is that she is. And if you read that short, like kind of was that mid-90s comic, it goes into detail about her parents, you know, particularly her father. There has been zero mention of this man at all. Well, I don't remember it being a mention in the Captain Marvel movie, and there hasn't been any mention of it's just as typical. Oh yeah, like I was looking at this playing. Oh yeah, how typical single black mother raising this. Oh my God, like that's not stereotypical at all. God forbid an actual man be
building Thor from the ground up, dude.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it also could be like maybe her mother grew to resent her because she was the one building it all, like from the ground up on her back. And maybe would have wanted to have Carol there. That's kind of where I think maybe a lot of that resentment and that look comes from. Like all of a sudden, like, because she vanished, she's gone, fucking wasn't helping Earth for shit.
And they don't explain why either, by the way. It's just, other people need help, other planets need help. And everybody, did y'all see that scene in Endgame? Like when what's his Rhodey's like, where the hell you been? And she's like, I've been, you guys had it handled. Other people need help, and they just took a word for it. Like, okay, all right, we'll go ahead and move on now. Talking about our plan, I was like, what the fuck? That's not an answer.
I like this one.
Well, that's what a lot of people were saying. That maybe some of those like hints about them potentially editing her out and cutting her out of some scenes made sense because that one would have been a super easy one to film really quick and explain why she literally wasn't in the show or in the movie from the beginning all the way to the end.
And they're going to tie that in, I think, to Monica Rambeau, why she hates Marvel or is having beef with Marvel. Because it could also even be something as simple as, you swore that you would help my mom, and then
that's
are
what
they going to turn my second mom and you left?
Are they going to turn this? Oh, man, I think about sexual relationship. Oh shit. God, they're gonna focus even more.
Sorry, I keep doing this.
I think, man, guaranteed.
100%.
What's that, Jeremy?
I think they're gonna make this the next Civil War, like Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel going at it. Like they're gonna build it up.
Team Rambeau all the way.
It's gonna be the MCU.
Marvel War.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's what they're gonna build up to right there. They're gonna spend it through. They're gonna develop it through TV shows and movies, and it's all gonna be. That's gonna be what it's all gonna lead to.
Free all the time.
Epic battle of the Whammon, and eventually they'll both be the heroes of the story. That's exactly what
it'll be.
It'll
be because of a man. Like
Jeremy's just manufacturing these stories because he's run out of Lucasfilm Civil War.
Make more Brie Larson videos. The quartering has made like 20 since I made the last one. Fuck that. I am going to catch him.
Hey, we got this cover. Just got 5 headlines from what Jeremy just said. I know you're watching. Nikki D. For $10. Eric and Gents, your thoughts on the rewriting of Thor's origin in Avengers number 42 per Jason Aaron. Thor's birth mother was actually the first mutant possessed by the Phoenix, making Thor a half mutant.
I haven't read it. I know that's what people have mentioned. I'm sorry. I know I get asked about the Thor situation like all the time.
That.
But
hey guys, no, you want to see this? This is from the comic. You want to read this fucking scene from the comic, dude? Fuck my ass, mouth, and tits.
Fuck my ass, mouth, and tits.
Seriously, this is. Look at this. I did once have you. Arrogance is all you have now, and a very poor memory. No, I remember those times well. Each and every second is seared into my brain. I miss those times. I miss you. What you think you miss, All-Father, is either dead or never existed. Do not call upon me again, unless you would like to see your golden Asgard and all those pretty wives and children turn to ash beneath your feet.
I am woman. I am so powerful. I am.
Why does he have rosy cheeks like Santa Claus?
Even fucking Santa has been
got a little bag.
He's been drinking. It happens.
It's so.
Oh my God, he's drinking gin.
So
caught up. So I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that. But Jason Aaron fucking sucks.
He does.
If you want to know who was responsible for the whole She-Thor thing, Jason Aaron.
It is.
I have come to tell you.
So yeah, he's been driving. He's been running Thor into the ground for. We're about to be closing in a decade. It was him. If anybody wants to understand why, out of nowhere, She has cancer. She did all of that shit. All of that was Jason Aaron. You got She-Thor because of Jason Aaron. So Thor has been ran into the fucking ground by Donny Cates. Much as he's a dick, but you know he tried. He's trying right now to revive this character. But yes, Jason Aaron has been running this fucking Thor and his legacy into the ground for nearly a decade.
Fuck Jason Aaron. And yeah, just ask yourself, what would Kirby think of all this? He'd probably want to physically fight Jason Aaron for what he's done.
Now, roll up his sleeves.
Roll up his sleeves and stick a cigar up Jason's pooper.
So in the chat says Odin is Santa's husband.
Give him no ideas, man.
That's already happened.
When you think Odin get cucked like that, it's just like, fuck off.
Yep.
Where's the fire of the gods?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
Jesus Christ, Odin used to go down to Earth, rape women, fucking turn into beasts, do all kinds of fucking fucked up shit.
As he got Me Too'd, he had to stop that shit.
Yep. Thank you, Nikki D, for the super chat. Legalize Adulthood for 1944 says, "What's up, my knit like
he knew Ripper was here."
Yeah, because he knew. Trying to get me in trouble. Thanks for the 19.
Come on, everyone knows that Ripper's into crocheting.
Yeah, Ripper did this for me actually. So thank you.
Hang on. Speaking of crocheting, vamp for like 2 seconds, guys. Hang on. I got to show.
Oh yes, I got to vamp for Gary, and because I don't know who I am and where I stay. Where am I?
Yeah, but you notice that Gary interrupted the vamping to say, "Guys, vamp."
Yeah, I was making shit up.
Now, has Rippa read? I want to know: is Rippa aware of Santa's husband, though?
I am the voice of Santa.
Rippa's not even aware of this. Rippa, you gotta come on your channel, dude. Oh my god!
I just know it was a bit.
What the hell is that, Gary?
It's fantastically terrible.
Daniel Kibblesmith wrote a book called Santa's Husband.
Speaking of Daniel Kibblesmith, he's hosting the show. It looks like.
This is a fourth
Wait a minute, I lost my
scarf.
microphone for a second.
For the supposed nerds on this panel, this is called a Doctor Who scarf. It's a kind of a big deal. Yeah, this is by Trenna Guthridge. It just
nice.
came in. It is fucking awesome and long.
I never saw Jodie Whittaker wear one of those.
I want to slap you.
Backhand.
All right, so Eric,
I've only watched one episode.
Eric,
I've never seen an episode.
Eric, there is a book called Santa's Husband, and
get ripped up in his face.
It's by the guy who created Snowflake and Safe Space. Can somebody pull up the cover? Can somebody pull up the
Don't you
cover?
have it? Can't you read us a second?
I think the most underrated part of the whole thing is that Santa is black and his husband's white. I don't think we talk about that ever either.
Eric's expression. Here's a kill me now look.
And the white Santa's name is David, and they make salads together. They make salads.
You thought Santa came once a year.
Wow.
So wrong.
God damn.
Oh my god.
Oh, what a fucking crazy show this is.
I'm looking.
That's it. I quit.
I'm looking for it right now.
So how long is that scarf?
It's I think she made it as long as it's so the story behind Tom Baker's scarf is they wanted to make a prop. They gave it to this nice old lady, and they gave her all the yarn she needed, and she used it all. She just used it fucking all.
Awesome.
And they're like, yeah, I kind of like this. So
I'm just going to use all of it.
It's got to be like 10 feet long or something like that. I mean, it's taller than me. So
Keep you nice and warm during the winter.
Santa has a white bitch, says Sander Hammerslag. That's what he said.
It is true.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Kind of like the white.
Oh my god.
Fucking yikes.
Why are none of these?
But that's an example of what we were talking about earlier. People getting on shit that have no business being anywhere near these fucking properties like that. It just, hey, you want to write for us? You think like us? You have the same social politics that we have.
Yep.
Go ahead. Here's fucking the New Warriors or whatever. It's like, dude, what the fuck are y'all doing over there? Like, the insane people for sure run the asylum over at Marvel. They have absolutely no control, and it's like I had DC, which was going in the right direction after Rebirth. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. So
yes,
Santa is the black. So they tokenized Santa.
Yeah, tokenized Santa.
God damn, man, what the fuck is going on?
His tongue's hanging out. He's desperate for it. Look at him.
That looks like the Odin, though.
You back. I'm gonna lick the shit off of your poop.
Come down my chimney.
Damn, man.
What did you
Come
just
up
say?
my chimney.
I'm gonna lick the shit off your poop.
Oh, I thought
We were born for
Is that Az's black gay man impression?
Az.
That was my Santa impression. That was my gay black Santa impression. Oh, come on. It's really difficult to do a gay black Santa impression.
Az made it worse.
It really did. Oh, I think you're on the top of the list now, buddy. I think you earned your spot. So doesn't
discriminated against. Come on.
Doesn't David look like
I
Odin?
denounce white supremacy.
I denounce white supremacy, by the way.
Protect my home.
That looks like Odin right there. That does look like Santa's husband.
Just gives a little eye patch and you're good.
So Ripa, the guy that made Snowflake and Safe Space, the New Warriors, that's the Daniel Kibblesmith. That's the guy who made this right here.
Again, it goes right to what we were saying about guys that have no business being near these projects. They get them.
He cringes just when kissing a woman.
Look what he did to Santa continuity.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even scroll down. I don't want to see any more of these photos.
Tokenizing Santa, man. He had to tokenize. Who the fuck tokenizes Santa, man?
David Kibblesmith.
After what Ryan pulled last week on the Geeks and Gamers live stream, I will not be scrolling any images whatsoever, ever. Okay, it will not happen.
Didn't have the safe search on.
Well, no, I was looking for a meme because I like. Mark's face, I was like, that reminds me of Smell Ya Dick Girl. And
so he went to Google and typed Smell Ya Dick Girl.
Ryan, did you just put Smelly Dick Girl into your search engine?
It actually auto-completed because I searched for it
so many times. It's just like, I know what you're looking for.
And it just went Smelly Dick Girl.
Yeah, and let's just say the good news is the meme showed up. The bad news is the other results were there too, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
And I left it on the screen for like 30 seconds because everyone was just like, everyone
that's an eternity.
Everyone was just looking at the meme. Everyone was just looking at the meme,
and it was like, all right, we gotta end the stream.
Yeah. Everyone just be silent for 30 seconds. It's a fucking long time, Ryan.
Of all the people on the stream, Drunk 3PO is the one that finally said, Ryan, close that out.
Dude, I love Father Christopher's comments. Well, I picked the wrong time to turn up the volume.
You really did.
We're sorry. So sorry.
Father. Bless you, Father. Bless you.
We have seen a lot.
Yes.
Terry Wilkin for 20 Canadian pesos says, "Hail panel and chat. I am tired of all female casts." There's a suspicious amount of women here. Bring back the toxic alpha male roles. They take charge, win the day, and get the girl. Does that make me toxic? Does that make me a toxic white female? If so, I'm okay with that. And she sends a heart, and a heart to you, Terry. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure in 2021 that makes you a toxic male.
Yeah, and Mr. Tickle Trunk just says, "Hail Nerdrotic." Hail to you for 2 Canadian pesos. We got Crazy Cat Guy for $1.49, another ice cream because he'll never let me forget that I left the live stream on, and then I came back and I started eating some ice cream, and I was in there eating the ice cream. I'm like, oh shit, this thing's on.
Wait a minute. What?
I'm glad it was just ice cream, bro.
When was it?
By the way, Gary,
I'm just gonna put Smelly Dick Girl into my search engine now.
Gary, your camera's a bit out of focus right now, at least for me. Just a tad.
Is that better?
is that stupid scarf. You put a scarf on, and not stupid. Sorry, whoever made that was awesome for you. But I just
You're right.
I'll slap him later. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're fixed now, Gary.
Thank you.
I need to know about this ice cream story though. What happened now? Did you pull a DSP?
I did with ice cream. I did. I did. Well, seeing that I
have an ice cream before his cream, is that what you're saying, Jeremy?
Well, yeah, I did a nooner.
Oh, is this thing on?
You scream, I scream, we all scream when we see DSP whacking off on the
nooner.
internet.
I was done with my nooner live stream and thought I hit end live stream and walked back to the fridge, got some ice cream, came back, and I was gonna download it, get ready for Nerdrotic Live. I'm sitting there munching away, reading some of the chat that was left over, and then I'm like, the chat's still moving. Oh shit!
No. God, that could have been bad.
I'm all, bye guys.
That could be so bad.
It could be bad if I do anything besides. I mean, the worst thing you'll see after a live stream is me falling asleep in my chair. You know,
which would have been even better because
that would have been amazing.
Yes.
Old man just gone for hours.
He's like, all right, well, we're done with the stream.
Garrett, that's exactly what happened. I can leave my chair back.
Scream and left up the wall. For like an hour.
I woke up and had like $5 million of super chats.
That was a Nerdrotic nooner.
It was
a crazy cat guy with a $5 super chat.
Yeah.
That was a Nerdrotic nooner.
That was a nooner. I'll have to go find it. It was from when I was.
It almost turned into a Nerdrotic neuter.
Not Another Dime gives us a thumbs up for $1.99. And Gesture of Roanoke says they wasted time in WandaVision talking about who's the powerfulest woman ever and made Hayward look like an idiot at every turn. Bad storytelling. This is written by the woman who wrote Black Widow, the Black Widow that's coming up. So
it's gonna be a doozy.
Yeah, so she's already come out as an intersectional feminist. So I think she's toning it down.
I have no desire to see that movie.
No, I'm grateful. If somebody comes out as an intersectional feminist, I know not to fucking listen to a word they say.
It's true.
Don't you miss the days when people just came out as gay? That's the days I miss. Now it's oh, by the way, I'm a horrible person. I'm an intersectional feminist. Everything you like is terrible and I want to destroy it. Or you just change your name and get divorced from your Hollywood girlfriend.
If I had a son and they came up to me and went, Dad, I'm an intersexual feminist. No, I'm gay. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, I love you, son. I love it.
I must
That nearly went so wrong, son.
I was like, what is he gonna say?
I don't want to embarrass my kid, but I will. My oldest kid, you're never sure. A kid is raised in San Francisco and he's got a bunch of friends. So we were like, me and Mrs. were like, maybe he's gay. I don't know. And so we're like, it's okay, son. It's okay if you're gay. It's fine. He's like, dude, I'm not gay, Dad. I'm like, it's okay if you are, though. Don't
have any game.
A little off.
Why are you saying this in the middle of the restaurant?
Well, I just made out with that guy.
It's not the time.
Why are you holding a megaphone to your mouth, Dad? It's really embarrassing now.
This is karaoke, Dad. Stop. Get down.
I don't know what you mean, son. I don't know what you mean, son. I'm just saying, if you're gay, it's okay.
It's okay, son.
I want to see Perry redo that clip with you at the megaphone with that clip.
In a coffee shop.
Perry burns the candle at both ends to make the content he does, and we just got to give him a round of applause. Fucking Perry Chan.
Dude's a master.
Is just another puzzle.
We love Perry Chan.
Genius, maestro.
Genius. Speaking of Nikki D for $5 says, Batwoman has been renewed for a third season. Can Perry Chan create an edit of Old Man Az reviewing the 57th season of 20 years in the future? Yeah, it could be As Beyond or Heels versus Babyface Beyond. Yeah, I think so.
I'm so grateful they want to give me money. I really am.
Oh, dude, I got heat for not doing my review for the third episode. I actually did.
Good. You deserve to get heat for it.
Well, I might do it this weekend then. Chris Patterson for $10. So instead of dying while doing something heroic, Alex from The Expanse just drops dead from a stroke Who the hell came up with this idea? Rianne Johnson? Yeah, you guys, I don't know who watches The Expanse on this panel.
Spoilers.
Fuck, you're not going to care, dude. Because The Expanse just like went so far south in one season.
Wait, they killed off Alex?
Well, yeah, because he got Me Too'd.
Oh,
they said he was not.
Dude, he's like my favorite character.
They said publicly for months that he's not returning for.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Jesus. And dude, he got they sent him packing that day because the way they do the scene is it's been out for a couple days, and like they said he's not returning. It looks like a frame grab. Like it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, the show that I've been backing for years. They gave you know what they gave up a bunch of storytelling from the book for? A polyamorous Belter family. That so they could show a polyamorous Belter family for 3 episodes. Rich Suddy for 10 pounds. Hail all. Sad to hear about Christopher Plummer, aka Captain Von Trapp, aka General Chang, and many others. Kapla, dude. That was. Yeah, he's 91, lived a good life.
Yeah, good. I loved him in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo as well.
Yeah, I loved him in Dreamscape.
Good film.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's weird.
I need to go rewatch that movie. It's been a while.
It's been a while,
but it's a goodie.
Yeah, the effects are kind of.
It is.
Well, they're 80s effects, but it's like a movie they wouldn't make now. It was such a weird, like you can go into dreams and there's like a battle and it's got the guy from The Crow. In it, and also it's the guy who said, warriors come out to play. Yeah.
Warriors, they killed Cyrus.
Gary Walker for £1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. Vigilante Williamson, who is a good guy, a member of the channel. I was watching his live stream the other day. I had a conversation with Jeremy about this. Had the best description of Jon Favreau I've ever heard as it relates to what his position, what he's like at Lucasfilm right now. And thank you. It says Ripa 2044. You gonna run?
Nah, man. You know, I hate politics, man.
Well, could you just run to abolish it? I mean, I
guess that would be what my whole platform.
As soon as you get in, it's all shut down.
Close every fucking thing down. Quitting. Nobody can have this position after I'm done with it. Bye.
Yep. Got my vote.
Executive presidential order.
So Vigilante Williamson was trying to describe, he was going through the Disney Star Wars rumors and stuff, and there's Favreau's obviously not a true member of Lucasfilm. He's an outsider, and he described him as Gordon in Gotham. Like the one good guy in Gotham, aside from Batman, of course.
Yeah,
but
that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Yep.
That's a great analogy.
Perfect analogy.
Yep.
And also VW. I was watching your live stream, so I was there. Kim Rokai for $5 says free young Ripa. He did nothing wrong. To one brother to another, keep speaking the truth.
Thank you. You're probably talking about Facebook.
Yeah.
Fuck Facebook.
You want to tell the audience what happened to you on Facebook?
Yeah. So I caught a 7. I've been banned fucking numerous times on Facebook. But
you're doing something right.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
I got banned recently for hate speech, and then they lifted it, and then they banned me just right again. After that, I was like, "Oh, I got lifted." Yeah, basically, you say, "Psych, motherfucker!" Like, then I got banned. Yeah, for the first one was hate speech. This one was like bullying and harassment or some shit like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ! And I'm sitting there contacting Facebook, and I'm a partner with Facebook, so I'm contacting Facebook business. Like, what the fuck is this? And shit, you not, I got an email. It was a live chat with them, and they're sitting here referencing the fact that I called Kamala Harris and Joe Biden pieces of shit.
That's it.
That was your hate speech.
Not even lying. I should show the receipts. I
remember you tweeting. I remember you tweeting about this.
Yeah, I speak poorly of Overlord Biden. That's why.
And I was like, "What? Like, how is this hate speech?" I was like, "If I said fuck Donald Trump, would it be hate speech?" Like, of course not. In the chat, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So yeah, basically, I'm switching everything up on. I'm not doing the lot show anymore. live streaming through Facebook. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck.
My favorite thing is on Twitter when somebody accuses when he trashes like the Dems, they accuse him of being a MAGA supporter. He's like, fuck Trump, motherfucker. I don't care. I hate all these motherfuckers. So it's like,
what was the hate speech they nailed you for?
I don't know. Like the first one,
POSs.
the first, well, I think they said that was bullying her and harassment.
Okay.
The hate speech, I have no fucking idea. They never referenced it. I'm like, hey, can you point to the specific post that you're even referencing? Because you're not showing me. It's just a phantom ban. It's like, we are sure that you violated the rules. I'm like, what the fuck?
we assume that somewhere in your content.
You had wrong thing.
I got my first strike with Google. It was a similar thing. And it's not, I don't think it's by coincidence all of this shit happened in the same week that I caught that ban and I got my first strike after fucking 14, damn near 15 years on Google. Actually, yeah, about 15 years on Google. I got my first strike. And speaking of YouTube, they said that I asked for some specifics and they were like, hey, here's the breakdown. Sorry, we can't provide you with the specifics. So I'm like, what?
Man. Like, dude, I'm so glad you're pushing Odyssey though, because I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be the next big one for sure. So if you guys aren't on,
I think they're working on live streaming too, potentially.
Yep, that's what they're working on. I'm in contact with one of their execs, and that's I think the iOS app might have went live today.
Ooh.
He told me. So and then after that will be Android, not too far. After that, and then they'll be rolling out the live streaming, and
their UI is super smooth.
Yeah, I love what they're doing. I love what they're
is.
doing. I think that's going to be one of the big competitors for sure.
Yeah, we need to mirror Geeks and Gamers. And I have D-Day Cobra mirrored on Odyssey, and Odyssey impressed me with just their user interface.
Well, the mirroring works. I tried BitChute for a long time, and then it just stopped working randomly.
BitChute, I mean, look, BitChute, I have that mirrored, and I've never looked at it since. And we have like 10 or 12,000 subs over there, which is cool, but it doesn't. The UI is terrible. Like I can't search anything out.
Search engine
it doesn't
is
work.
broken.
Yeah,
it's
Odyssey app is live on iOS.
It is. So yeah, I got a text from one of the execs, and he was like, "It should be live. Let me know when you see it." So yeah, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. So I think this is gonna shoot it up for sure.
I don't understand how the monetization works on Odyssey.
It's straight a crypto token. You guys, I don't know yet. You probably weren't part of the Steam It thing. Steam It used to do the same thing before DLive went completely fucked. A similar thing where it's like it's just per view, depending on a library token is the actual cryptocurrency. So it really depends on how. Obviously, that's going to fluctuate in terms of when it's worth. So when you're going to cash out, it's going to be like fucking, whenever you cash out. But you're rewarded for not only putting the videos out there and
watching, interacting,
watching, and you can get paid just to fucking watch other people's shit on Odyssey. I love how they're doing things, and they'll be doing like some ads. Just they don't have the high enough user base quite yet, but they'll be doing like some of the ad stuff that you see on some of the other video platforms, YouTube and everything. Well,
nice.
Love Odyssey.
Hell, Yellow Flash in the chat, by the way.
Hey, what's up, Yellow Flash?
He also loves Odyssey.
I'll try Odyssey.
He's on Odyssey too.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Odyssey is so easy. You just set it up, you claim your channel, your YouTube channel, and it just mirrors.
But
GeeksandGamers.com, $10 a month.
Geeks and Gamers. Yeah.
Get all your Santa's husband news.
I think when BitChute was connecting to YouTube, I think YouTube did something to keep the videos from just shooting over there. They
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I was never able to get the connection, so I just said fuck BitChute. It's impossible to find anything in there. Like you can type the name of a video that you want to play into BitChute and you won't find it because their search is just so fucked. And I appreciate everything BitChute's doing and everything BitChute has done. But it's just
what's great about Odyssey is how on YouTube they have like recommendations. Like Odyssey actually recommends things that are similar to what you have just watched instead of it being like, oh, we have sponsored content.
You mean that thing like YouTube used to do?
Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, you know what I got in my recommended? I was watching Drunk 3PO video, and then he's gonna click that. No, I'm just kidding. And then what I got recommended next video was an 8-year-old Steven Crowder video.
Hey,
an 8-year-old Steven Crowder
They're
video.
circulating again.
So I was watching some Quarter Black today.
Hey,
I was watching some Batman 3D creation and painting.
I haven't watched that yet. I'm gonna watch it.
Good.
Warren Smith.
I have been using Rumble, and I mean I've only uploaded a few to it. I guess I've made a little bit of money over there. It works pretty good. I like Rumble. So,
speaking, I have no idea how the hell to monetize over there.
It begins within.
Yeah, well, speaking of subs, Warren Smith for $5 Australian says, I was subbed yesterday at your nooner, checked, and then, so he was unsubbed today, and he subbed yesterday to this channel. So he said, check those subs for all these fine gentlemen here. All of their links are in the description, by the way, for all of their channels. Please sub often. So what was that about?
Sub down and sub off.
So we got Odyssey and we got Rumble, right? So what's a Rumble?
Rumble, I'm still trying to understand it. I've only uploaded a few videos over there, but basically the more rumbles you get, which I think is like likes on Facebook or likes on YouTube, then it starts to kind of push it up in the algorithm. And I think I've uploaded like 5 or 6 videos, and they've all done really well. Especially a couple of them done extremely well. And I've got my PayPal link to it. I think the payout minimum is $50, but I'm still trying to understand how it all works. I've got a couple of Rumble exclusives because it asks you like if it's a Rumble exclusive or if it's going to be a Rumble exclusive with the exception of YouTube, or if you're going to put it on. I'm still trying to understand it, but so far I've enjoyed my experience with Rumble and the limited videos I put up there, and I think people like Ripa would be really good on Rumble. Because it's heavy political stuff. So your political stuff, you should probably consider putting that on Rumble. I don't know if your comic book stuff would flow, but because I put a Brie Larson video over there.
I'd like to see something come up that's. I mean, like, listen, I want everybody to be able to get as political as they want wherever they want. But I would love to see a good mix again. I could do pop.
Odyssey has like normie shit. Like I'm talking like science and tech shit, and that's why they're gonna fucking win. Exactly that, because they're like they have the normie shit there, and that's what we got.
Cheese, Big Hits, Gaming, Lab, Tech, News and Politics, Finance 2.0, The Universe, Wild West.
Who runs Odyssey?
They have this shit where it's like
they run Library. LBRY, Library is the same guy. I saw someone in the chat. This is misinformation for whatever reason. Keeps spreading that Google owns Odyssey. No, they fucking don't.
Different Odyssey.
And the reason why they keep saying that is because there was like this backup program or something that Google had bought out by the same name. So people thought that was what it was, but it's not. It has no connection. I know the guys that are involved. It's the library guys, are libertarians as well. That own that platform. So it's just it's the video platform using basically the library technology. It's just a more formalized version of it. So Google has absolutely fucking nothing to do with that website.
Yeah, it'll be shit there. Like, you're not just gonna see the latest shit about Trump or Biden. You'll see like, hey, how do I change the spark plugs?
Bingo.
2,700.
That's how you win this.
Exactly.
You don't win it by just doing politics stuff. Like, you're gonna.
That's not
you need to diversify your content.
As Tim Pool always says,
normie shit.
Buy my food.
Subscribe to geeksandgamers.com for $10.
We need a supercut of all the plugs.
We have a super chat from Ed Star for $50. Thank you, Ed Star.
By the show.
Yeah, he is. Hi, Gary. After I upgraded my Nerdrotic membership, YouTube attached a note to my receipt. Access to YouTube comments restored. Thank you, Gary. You're welcome. I don't know what I did. I don't know why they took away your access to comment. That
Gary's now paywalling his comments.
No, that's it. That's what I'm doing. No, God, no. So yeah, I didn't do anything. I don't know why they did that. I don't know. I haven't ever deleted a comment. So, but YouTube does it for us plenty. Believe me.
Oh yes, they do.
There's a hold area
Held
we have to go
review.
and go through. Dude, it's fucking ridiculous. And there's stuff in there that's like, I really hated the Expanse ending. I like that was it. It's
because the word hate was used. That's why.
Probably.
We get mild stuff. So like, we have Mug Club. Hashtag Mug Club is being held for review.
A lot of hashtags get held for review on there.
Does it just assume it's bad
I don't
or
know.
something?
I'm not sure, but I know
Spam or
a shit ton of hashtags will get held. Maybe for spam, yeah. I don't know.
Hey, Ripa, just quick. So, because you talked to the people at Odyssey, so they're working on apps for iPhone and Android now.
Yeah,
like
well, the iOS
the iPhone
app rolled
apps
out
now.
today.
It's up right now.
Yep, he came and people are saying it's fast as fuck, which is awesome. That came out today. Android will be rolling out next.
Good
and then
deal.
they'll start doing a lot. They're already testing the live streaming stuff. So yeah, not over there. You know, everybody here should for sure back this stuff. You don't have to do anything extra. It'll mirror it by itself. For sure. But yeah, I think that's going to be the one that emerges as an actual competitor, particularly because they have the normie shit on there. It's not just an echo chamber of non-leftists on there.
Plus, crypto is the future, and so they're very
bingo, exactly. And they're right in.
Same thing with Minds. It's like Minds and Odyssey are the
Minds
two.
too, yeah.
Well, the one thing too about Odyssey is I had a minor issue when I linked my channel, and it was completely my fault. And they responded immediately, and they were on it. And that, like, and of course, I know they're on a smaller level right now, and they're definitely going to be interested in helping creators. But the fact is they were right there with me. Let me know if they need anything else. So
and they know that
everybody,
because that was one of the things that I talked about with my frustration with being being partnered with like Facebook and then doing YouTube stuff. Is the just complete lack of communication in the event there's an error. Like that's got to be I'm pretty sure everybody here that has been banned, with everybody that went through the fucking, Last of Us bullshit, like the just sheer lack of communication is so frustrating when you are a creator. And that's one way that they can separate themselves apart. Look, you can't contact every single person, but definitely if you know the person is a creator, has a following, like, goddamn, like, and it definitely, if they're in error, you have to communicate that, and they know that. Like, I was one of the things when I was talking to their team, like, I brought up, like, dude, I know it's a frustration of a lot of us as creators, dude, that we fucking, they say that we're in error, and we can get little to no communication as to why. People gotta fucking raise hell to do stuff like that just to get a damn response from these people, and it just shouldn't be like that.
No, and the reason they do it, and it's obvious, is if they tell us that there's going to be some change in the algorithm or something that we won't upload, and they don't want us not uploading. So they're okay with us sacrificing our work and our hours and our, which is fun. Like, I'm not saying it's the salt mine, but if you spend, if I spend 3 days on a video and I put it out on one of those days where they just don't recommend it, that's gone forever. It doesn't matter to them. But I think one thing you need to watch out for now is if anything big happens in the news, and I mean, it's not just inciting an erection or whatever. That's their terminology, not mine. Or a GameStop thing. Like, just don't fucking upload for a couple of days, because like if it's something like really divisively political or it's divisive for the system, they're going to put that weird clamp down that they just
there's some switch that they pull.
Yeah, there's something that
like,
it's a button, man. It exists.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, fuck yeah. It proved it. Like, again, when the GameStop thing happened, right after that, all of a sudden, everything slows down. Decordering makes a video saying his channel's dying for the, And, but it's true. Something's going on. Something was definitely going on. And it's best just to wait 48 hours. If you have a video, I wouldn't. I would just wait. All right. So, as would say, he is streaming with Nersmodic tonight. Nersmodic. That was from our live stream where he misspelled my name, and that will never ever let you forget. This is a good chap. He's a member of the channel. The Merosphere Origins. He's writing his own book. He got tired of the bullshit in Hollywood, and he got inspired by the good fellows and ladies over at Comicsgate and doing the Indiegogo campaign. So he decided to write his own fantasy book. So fuck it, I'm just going to do it while I'm at work. And yeah, I just blasted you out. You did it at your job. I won't tell him where you work though. He's a good guy. So he's all hail all. I dropped off my first chapter. I dropped first chapter read off on my channel, Gary. I hope you enjoy it. Love you all. Greatest intro yet. Keep it up, everyone. Well, it was the best of intro. So yeah. Thanks. And yeah, if you want to go, he did an audio version of his first chapter, and it's available on his channel, Merosphere Origins. Go check it out. We also have Siobin 1977 for 20 pounds. Hail, Gary. First ever super chat. Oh. We'll be gentle. Lots of love from London. What are you and the guys' thoughts on Tom McDonald? Me and my man think he is a game changer. Lots of love Shout out to Drunk and Gundam. I love you all. XXX. Tom McDonald.
He's a rapper.
musician?
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Oh. The Canadian rapper.
I know nothing about current music.
He raps about he's like anti-woke,
Really?
SWU type. Yeah,
I like him.
I love this guy. This
Greatest
is
musician ever.
I will definitely look into it, but I was not familiar. Was it SIOBHAN?
Yes, yeah,
Was that the name?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Siobhan.
Siobhan. Oh,
Yes,
well, I
same
can't
as our community manager, Geeks and Gamers, Siobhan.
Oh, it's Siobhan. Sorry, Siobhan.
That's not that Siobhan. I'm saying it's the same name.
No, I'm still apologizing to her for.
Okay.
My apologies. Christopher Plummer, Dustin Diamond. We seem to be losing a lot of people lately. It's not like a
Screech.
Yeah. Rest in peace to both of them. It's not like 2016 where half of entertainment died. Shit, we lost everybody that year.
You tell me the Koof didn't get everyone? I thought that's what happens.
No.
Yeah, we all died.
Yeah.
A lot of celebrities died in 2016. That was weird, man. Hi Q, thank you for the £5.
They were all gonna say something about a certain candidate. Maybe that's what happened.
David Bowie? Is that how
that must have been it.
Is that how they got David Bowie?
Yep,
I think so.
Well, David Bowie being mentioned, I do need to
leading to the arrest of some unknown person. I don't know.
Helsons for £100. Damn. Thank you. Is there a new hope for Disney and Lucasfilm? What if Lore's vid, thanks Geek, and now watching Rambo's reaction to Captain Marvel comment by Jimmy Woo, could it be we get a Captain Marv from the multiverse where her abilities are more powerful than her ego? Yes, I don't know about that. It's been brought up. Listen, Brie Larson is miscast as Captain Marvel. She hasn't said anything stupid lately that I know of, and I don't care. She's a terrible Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was damn near the last Jedi of the MCU, and it still could be. It's definitely the Star Trek 2009 of the MCU. It's laid the foundation for the MCU. It's an awful movie. It tore up one of its better multiple characters. It fucked up multiple characters from multiple movies. So I don't even count that bitch. And if they want to continue on with that type of universe, then the MCU is going to crash and fucking burn. Because they don't have the stars to carry it, and people aren't going to put up with this woke bullshit. Disney turning stuff around. I watched the Lore Star video. Jeremy told me to watch it, so I watched it. It's a movie that's a movie. It's a video that makes, some good points, but and you have to watch the video. We'd almost have to watch the video to refer to it. It's a guy basically who was didn't believe that Disney would retcon or erase anything. Then he went through stuff and found a way to make it make sense for him. What he did was, and it did a great job. The video is good, and it's very convincing. But he borrows from a novelization here, a comic book here, a reference over here, and he's saying that Filoni has already started erasing or retconning the Disney trilogy, which they certainly could do. I know everybody wants that to happen. I want it to happen. Jeremy wants. Everybody wants it to happen. But you got to ask yourself, in these current environment in woke Hollywood, are they going to undo a Star Wars movie with a female lead and a black lead that they absolutely disrespected and was
same-sex kiss
and a same-sex kiss? No, the answer is no. They're going to make it work. They're going to find a way to make it work. Will they retcon it? Yeah, sure. Baby Grogu, Baby Yoda doesn't make any sense. The Luke Skywalker Return sent a fucking clear message what people want. I just have not seen anything from Disney that would show me that they would change their mind. Jon Favreau might want to do it, and if he amasses more power as time goes on, it's possible, certainly. But as it stands right now, it ends with the sequel trilogy, and they put it in one of those comics. That's the biggest thing. You can't look away from. They put a timeline in a comic book that's supposed to be a big publishing thing for them, which I think is a piece of shit. They didn't need to put that timeline in there. Why would they do that? You're gonna. Now, could it happen? Yes, absolutely. It's a convincing argument. But I mean, Ryan, you know way more about the world between worlds and how they. I watched that episode once, so I can't say I'm an expert on it.
Before Ryan answers that, I do need to head out.
Okay.
Bye, Odin.
Bye,
Yeah,
Odin.
I got in there. All right. Follow me over on Odyssey, OMB Reviews, and the OMB Reports because YouTube demonetized the OMB Report channel. So go support me over on Odyssey. That'd be great.
That's such BS, dude.
Yeah, because apparently it was harmful content.
Oh God, everything's gonna be
just
fucking
reporting
harmful
on the
content
news.
now.
The news.
Before
is
you go,
harmful.
dude, make sure that you subscribe to geeksandgamers.com. $10, at least $10 a month, and I'm not just saying that because Jeremy's paying me. I'm saying that because Jeremy's paying me handsomely.
GE.
So $10 a month, geeksandgamers.com membership.
As GEEK.
Okay.
GAY.
Geeksandgamers.com. Gotcha. Bye, Odin.
K.com.
Yeah. $10 a month.
$10.
Or you can eat.
It brought up the. You know what gay.com brings up?
Oh no.
No, it's the Los Angeles LGBT Center.
Oh,
Gay.com.
Try Penn Island.
I'll pass on that one. Anyway, bye everybody.
Bye.
Isn't that a
Odin.
strip club by the airport? Layers Odin.
I gotta go as well. I gotta dip out.
Nobody
Dude,
wants to
this
hear
has been
my
a freaking
answer. Got it.
Amazing.
I want to hear it.
This has been an amazing conversation. I wish I could continue it, but I gotta go. Check out my new video about making Batman. I made a 2-foot tall Batman statue. I painted it up, printed it, made it all nice and
Pretty.
and neat.
Nice.
So after this stream, don't go now, but after the stream, go to my channel and go watch those.
Hell yeah,
Good man.
I'll have to check
Steve
that out, man. I
Quarterback.
recently picked up a 3D printer, so I'm kind of curious what you're doing.
Oh, I
Check it
can't do
out.
that. That would
Check
be
it out.
just like picking up Warhammer for
Hey,
me.
Quarter
It'd be
Black,
crack.
we're working on an Among Us stream next week. I'll hit you up.
Send me the
Hey,
information.
Quarter
Do
Black,
it.
I'll put
Do
the link for your video in the description when we close out the show.
sir.
So there you go.
Thank you. All right,
Welcome,
See you,
buddy.
bro.
See you
Thanks
guys
for being
later.
here, man.
See you, Aaron.
Love you, man.
It was definitely to be on a stream with you, bro.
Oh, for sure, man.
I will call
All
you.
right, see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we have Tom.
2-foot Batman. Is that anything like Angry Inch Ryan?
It might be.
I think 2-foot Batman was from what was it when we saw the Batawang? Is that
I'm damned.
what happened to those? Are they still doing those when they were doing what was that run called when they did the
Black
Batman?
DC Black Label.
Black Label, the Black. Are they
I
still
think
doing
they
those?
are, right?
They are. I went to my local shop and they had a, that's all I'm getting from DC these days.
It was
is Black
Vertigo
Label.
that they ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have.
Which was strictly the same shit, but
Yeah.
at least it started with the idea. That was
When they showed Batman's cock, like I bought two. I had the normal, I had the variant, and I should have just sold it because it was like going for like $200.
Yeah, you should
I
have.
should have fucking sold it, but I'm like, nah, man, people are gonna pay to see this cock forever. Nah, I guess not. Now it's
No,
like
everybody forgot.
Ryan, it never works like that. If there's a variant out there, like a rare variant want, just wait 6 months. It will be so much cheaper. I would tell people that in my store. I get a Scotty Young variant, a 1 in 100 sketch variant, and I put it up on my wall, and I'm like, listen, guys, I gotta charge $100 for this because that's how much it cost me to buy it. I put it on my wall, but I would be honest. I'm like, if you wait, you can get this on eBay for $40, but I got to sell it for $100, and somebody will come in and buy it, and they did. First day, I would put it on the wall, and it'd be gone, and it's fine. It's like as long as you're like completely overpaying for, because when you have a 1 in 100 variant, I got to pay for 100 comics to get that variant, but it's actually just paying for 50 because I get a store from Marvel gets 55% off from Marvel and DC. So
off of cover price. Okay.
Yeah, off a cover price. It's a good deal. It's a fucking great deal when they produce good comics. It's a terrible deal when they produce fucking shit like they do now. So
yeah.
If you buy 100 copies of Squirrel Girl, we'll give you this X-Men cover that's super rare.
Luckily, I got both of them for covers, so it's not like I've spent money on it.
Yeah. No, keep them because like that's it. I mean, Batman's dick is kind of a big deal. So
And the reprints, they edited it out.
They did
Yes,
because they pushed out.
Well, they've shown Elektra's vag before too.
Yeah,
so.
but comics, do you know why they pussed out of the dick?
Because people were upset that it was
because there was blowback.
People were because people. Ryan's right, because people were upset that he was circumcised.
Are you what?
So it wasn't the penis they were so much complaining about; it's the fact that they were fucking circumcised.
Oh my god! What the
fuck? They were complaining about it.
What's wrong with people?
Just the tip.
He would be circumcised, by the way. So there you go.
Yeah,
Ryan,
he's an American.
Ryan, enlighten us on the Star Wars stuff.
So when it comes to like the world between worlds, there's two separate things here. There are some people that are saying that like Filoni's been like masterfully planning this from the beginning, right? And he introduced the world between worlds specifically for this reason. That definitively is just not the case.
I agree.
World Between Worlds, those episodes were written probably written in 2016. They were filmed in 2017. And then they came out the very beginning of 2018, like as The Last Jedi blowback was happening. It was something that was planned. It had nothing to do with the reaction to The Last Jedi. And in fact, Dave Filoni, we've seen him in those meetings talking about their overarching plans for the sequel trilogy. When he talked about, being on board, not necessarily with cucking Luke and destroying him in that way, but talking about the matriarchy, subverting the patriarchy, things like this. So it's not like Dave Filoni was vehemently anti-sequels and had this plan, right? But the idea that now, like those events, when Ezra Bridger pulled Ahsoka Tano out of the Sith Temple on Malachor, that changed everything. And what we're seeing in Mandalorian is that timeline vice the sequels that we got. The evidence that Lore Star is a cool dude. The evidence that he's using is things that I think super flimsy. It's basically inconsistencies between Disney's own canon, that is not an indication to me that that's what's happening. That's an indication to me that people like J.J. Abrams don't know what the fuck he's doing. They point to the retconning of Snoke's origins. How could it be that he experienced all these things in the prequels and the rebellion like they said he did, but now we find out he's a clone? Well, the answer to that is that Jar Jar Abrams is a fucking idiot, and he changed his origins for The Rise of Skywalker. If you want to say that, well, this can't happen because they told us that Ben, in a comic book, they told us that Ben Solo was the first student. But now he has Grogu 5 years before that happened. Well, I have a trouble for you then, because Rise of Skywalker then retconned the sequels because they showed us that he was training Leia. Leia was his first student immediately after Return of the Jedi. So the things that you're trying to use to lay out your evidence to me are very flimsy and are just inconsistencies in canon, which there are a million of, not some plan. Even Ahsoka Tano's voice at the end of Rise of Skywalker, when asked about that, it was said, well, I don't think Star Wars fans really pay attention because we heard Darth Vader talk to Luke, and Leia heard Luke's voice when he was alive. So to me, I get where people are coming from. This to me is like Snoke theory stuff. When everybody was like amped up and they were like creating all these things, all these theories of whose Rey's parents were, who's Snoke,
who's raping Rey.
Yeah.
Wow.
All of those things. That's what this reminds me of, because it's just that's what good theory videos do, right? It connects these threads, ignoring some stuff that doesn't necessarily align with what you're trying to put forward, but, putting all these things together to give people food for thought. And
gun to my head, no, I don't think it's happening. Not at all. And the world in between worlds is irrelevant, though. I mean, I think anybody with common sense. I mean, Lore Star even said he agreed with me. I don't think that Filoni had this planned out, when world in between worlds. It all happens. This all ties to the Luke moment. The theory is hinged on the Luke returning at the end of episode 2. And the reaction to that, and how important it is, and the ramifications of the universe, and how that plays into it. Now, the world in between worlds to me is a convenient storytelling option for them to kind of circle back to that. So when you look at the reaction to Luke Skywalker and how that turned the needle to the level we have never seen under Disney Star Wars, I think from internally they could look at that and go, okay, we have fucked this shit up royally. Here's our opportunities. But I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it has happened. I just think it's a very interesting theory, and I do think that there is some substance to it. And if there was ever an opportunity for them to fix this shit, this is it. It won't happen, though. I don't believe it will happen because we're talking about Disney. We're just talking about WandaVision and how it seems like it's on this great path and this great storytelling and these characters. We all know the dark cloud of feminism bullshit and identity politics is hanging over WandaVision, though. So even as good as it is, it just feels like it's going in a direction that everything else in Hollywood is going. And I just don't see this. I don't see this thing at Lucasfilm that has fundamentally changed things at Lucasfilm. The people that believe in this shit, the people that believe in identity politics and feminism and they're against men, they're not just, they haven't left Lucasfilm, and they're not the type of people that will go, oh, it's my job to just shut the fuck up and do what my bosses tell me. No, no, no. If these people are under orders to kind of like fix the sequel trilogy, like, these people will rebel. They will fight. They will protest. They will scream victim. They will pretend that something bad has happened. They will not just sit aside.
You mean like going out after Gina Carano, perhaps bitching about somebody crying over Luke Skywalker, maybe in the Mandalorian, or maybe even, I'll stop, But,
no, but yeah, exactly.
No, Tom, continue.
But again,
no, I mean, because people don't believe me when I say this shit. We've been saying it for months. They're just going to ignore it. If you notice, every single show is set 20, 30, 40 or more years way away from the sequel trilogy for a reason. Like, it's just.
So again, like I said in my video, I think it's a great video. And again, the reason I made it is because I initially responded, like I made a video because of the Jon Favreau comments of everything leading to the sequel trilogy. And I talked about, like, I don't think a retcon is happening. I don't think it's an option. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it's happening. And then then a lot of people overwhelmingly was telling me, you need to watch Lore Star's video. You need to watch it. And I was like, okay, fine. This must be a big deal. So I'm going to check this out. And that's why I responded to it. And I think it's a great video and it's a great theory. And it's a realistic way for them to fix it. But we're not dealing with realistic people. We're dealing with fucking weirdos that they're obsessed with race and gender, and they don't care about fixing Star Wars. Generally speaking.
If Lore Star was in charge, it would be better off. If anybody here who gave a shit about Star Wars still would be better off. But that's not a factor you can ignore. You're right, Jeremy. You cannot ignore the identity politics factor. It trumps absolutely everything with these people, with all of them. And just because Jon Favreau might be the one lone sane voice, if Filoni was in charge, Ahsoka would be the most important thing in the Star Wars universe. And that's what this path might be. Then maybe that's what the retcon's going to be. But you're right. There's like tons of stuff that doesn't make sense if you actually read the comics and books. But I can tell you definitively, Jon Favreau doesn't give a fuck what's in a comic book or is in a book. And he's one of the good guys. He's going to do whatever he wants. And I've said this since I owned a store. Comic books and novelizations are canon until they're not. Until a filmmaker says, I don't want to do that anymore. Happens all the fucking time. That's why novelizations aren't canon. They're not canon. They're just unused. They need to fill space. So they use stuff from the script, or sometimes they're written before the movie is edited. And that's why we get the Luke constructing his lightsaber scene, which we all would love to be in fucking Return of the Jedi.
For sure.
Here's the thing, like you said, would they do like all the reasons why they wouldn't retcon the sequel trilogy and like take those things out? What this is talking about is like doing it in an alternate timeline. So it is definitely a retcon, obviously, but different timelines. But again, the thing that these are good things to think about. I don't really think it's happening in any way, shape, or form. But there's people that are taking it and saying, wow, Filoni already did, like presenting it as fact, where what I see Lore Star's video as is a way they could do it if they wanted to. Yep. That is a potential out and explanation. It hasn't happened. And the people that fucking try to tell me it's happened, good for you. I'm glad you think that. But you're basing that on fucking nothing other than faith, which anything in Disney Star Wars, anything put faith in, it's not Disney Star Wars. But if you're going to say it's an alternate timeline, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go through all of that hassle, all the blowback that you would get if you weren't going to replace it with something. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Spoiler alert, there's not archival footage of Han, Leia, and Luke Skywalker sitting around that Disney's going to use on a Disney Plus series for the sequel trilogy. That's not fucking happening. Bottom line, it didn't exist. So
I said this with my live stream with Star Wars Theory and Drunk 3PO. People may not want to hear it, but it doesn't matter. You don't need Han and Leia. You just need Luke. That's all you need is Luke. That's all you need.
But that's not gonna. They're not going to do that.
Well, it's all hypothetical. But I'm just saying, like everything we're saying is hypothetical because we all believe that nothing's going to happen. So this is all just kind of hypothetical shit. So I'm just saying in the hypothetical sense that they would move forward. It's been proven Luke Skywalker is all you need. Be done right. That's all you need. They fucked it up. We know they fucked it up. You can't unfuck up what they fucked up. They had their opportunity with Han, Luke, and Leia. Harrison Ford ain't coming back. I don't care. I don't care if Bezos or Elon Musk shows up with money. Harrison Ford's not coming back. Period. He's done. And obviously Carrie Fisher's no longer with us. But you have Luke Skywalker, and you can bring Sebastian Stan in. That's plenty enough. Again, it's not happening, but Luke's all you need.
Whatever it is, it's Disney Star Wars. It will never be Star Wars. George Lucas's Star Wars is gone. It's dead. And
it's over.
It's over. And it's been over for a long time. And if you want to enjoy stuff, that's fine. And could they change it? Certainly. It depends. But we're years away from finding out. That's for sure.
I think the biggest thing we can say is what's her name? The racist writer for High Republic. What's her name?
Justina Ireland.
Yeah, that she still got hired and she still got company promotion, like promoted by the company. That's the company you think is going to fix all this. I just don't see it.
No,
I just don't see it.
There's one thing that people keep overlooking that I got to keep pointing out and reminding people though. Bob Iger is in control when it comes to Star Wars, no matter who is the head of Lucasfilm. He flat out said it. He goes, I take responsibility. The buck stops with me now in Star Wars. That's why he created that new role for himself.
Bob Iger's leaving.
He's leaving, but people still forget that. And again, Ryan's right on a lot of things, but I also remind Ryan all the time that people said a lot of the same shit about the Snyder Cut until it wasn't true anymore.
Big difference.
You know,
big difference.
I know there's some differences there.
I mean,
that's why I said a lot of the
film
same
being
things.
shot. I think film being shot by a director who was there is a big difference.
I do think it's a difference, but it's all based on a failure. Like if Joss Whedon's Justice League would have been a success, the Snyder Cut does not come back.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen.
The Snyder Cut is relying completely on who's in control at the studio, and that's what a lot of this has to do with. That's what I'm getting at. Until Kathleen Kennedy is gone, sure, there's a lot of shit that's going to stay, and it's not going to change, you know. But they just brought in some brand new person as another vice president of Lucasfilm, and she's doing the same thing that Michelle Redjwan was supposed to be doing, and the same thing that Kathleen Kennedy is supposed to be doing. So now you have 3 people at Lucasfilm with the same fucking job.
Well, she's merchandise. I thought she was merchandise.
No, it's more than just merchandising.
I read whatever happened to Michelle Redjwan, by the way?
She just disappeared. Like she's there, but I'll be honest with the checking around we've been doing. And again, you guys take whatever you want with a grain of salt. It sounds like this lady's the one they're grooming to come in and take over KK's spot eventually when she leaves.
Yeah, I guess we'll just recycle the Michelle Redjwan videos from 2018.
What about Carrie Hart? Carrie Hart,
yeah. Oh, she was there to replace KK.
Well, watch. You know, maybe Michelle Redjwan will get fired in about 2-3 months. That's what happened to Carrie Hart. She always puts somebody in place to take the fall for her.
Yeah, and they don't exactly announce people getting fired.
No,
but but as far as things changing, you know, Kathleen Kennedy's got to get fired, and if the buck stops at Bob Iger, it's always stopped at Bob Iger because Kathleen Kennedy's never taken responsibility for anything.
No,
you know,
she doesn't. And the proof is in the pudding that she doesn't even know what the hell's going on.
Except for successes.
She probably does take it.
A library of material to call upon to aid Star Wars. And Star Wars has never had that, remember?
As if
nope.
has.
Nope. You're right.
They've
never had the books or anything to go off of.
No comics, no books.
Rip, just
no
be happy.
movies.
Rip, and be happy you don't follow Star Wars.
Yeah, fuck Star Wars.
When the person who runs your franchise... When the person who runs your franchise says that, you know you're fucked. You know that franchise is absolutely fucked 7 ways from Sunday.
They just had
Marvel Comics. They've never had comic books before. We're making this ship as we go along.
They had this beautiful
same
moment.
woman who didn't realize that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was the same exact plot as The Mandalorian until after Mandalorian aired.
That's 'cause they didn't have the script. They didn't have the
They're
script.
like, wait a minute, there's something familiar about this. Yeah, so like, are they going to all of a sudden have a big plan to retcon? They're not. They're still not planning anything. They're just making this shit up. They're like, Grogu's.
Favreau's the only one with a plan. That's the point.
That's not even true.
That's not true.
He didn't have a plan. What are you talking about? He said I didn't even have a plan for Mandalorian. I write it as I go.
For that part, yeah, but now he does have a plan, or why else would they have 3 fucking spin-offs, Ryan?
Yeah, I'd say but I mean, Favreau said that in the same.
Much as
but Favreau clearly has an idea of what he's doing. He's shown that over there.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I think the reality is Star Wars never had a plan since Disney picked it up, and they probably never will going forward.
Well, no, but I think Jon Favreau has proven, whether you like his plans or not, again, this is a guy who has elevated himself by doing those shitty fucking live action. What were they? I guess they were animated live action, non-live action, animated live action movies.
Yeah.
And I hated them. I hated The Lion King with every bone in my body. Fucking hate that movie because Beyonce is the most overrated fucking entertainer in the history of the world. But that's neither here nor there. But The Jungle Book. But he did a fantastic job. Both of those movies made so much money. And Favreau was just playing the game, like to continue to elevate his own brand. He started the MCU and he got it off to the ground. And he's the reason Robert Downey Jr. is there. The Mandalorian is just another piece to the puzzle of Favreau showing that this motherfucker knows what he's doing.
Disney's already won.
Does.
Disney's already won. No. They've already won because we're talking about
Gary.
it. Because they're theorizing. They don't have to do shit. Like I've said that in my Luke Skywalker. They don't have to do anything right now because we're already talking about it. We're theorizing. It's in the ether. Who knows? Maybe they're the motherfuckers leaking that we might erase something. Here you go. Who fucking knows? And then they don't
probably
do it.
Are.
Yeah, because they've already won. That's the facts. Lorena Creel, thank you, Lorena, for 99 cents. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, she gives us a little heart there. Vake, she's on the toxic femininity, right?
Toxic femininity, yes. She is now one of the producers, actually.
She is awesome.
Vake for $4.99. Friday Night Tights is my favorite few hours of the week. All right, thank you to all of you guys. Thank you, and Eric K. I already read that one.
Gary, private chat. Perry Chan's got a new video when you want to play it.
Oh no! Really?
I've got it laid up.
You do?
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
Hang on.
I got it. All waiting for you, big boy.
I want to talk. We're still not done. I'm not done talking about WandaVision, to be honest with you. So
3 hours later.
Talk about a mind fuck and a half there.
You got it lined up. You said, Az?
Yeah, it's there. It's there waiting for you.
It's right in front of me. Where?
On the share.
Screen shared. He's screen sharing.
I thought that was that. Okay, I got you. This is called a Doctor Who scarf. It's a character.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
I never saw Jodie Whittaker wear one of those.
I'm gonna slap you.
That's all we needed for Perry was just a little bit of inspiration.
Damn, Perry, that was amazing.
This is called a Doctor Who scarf. It's a character.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
I never saw Jodie Whittaker wear one of those.
I'm gonna slap you. This is called a Doctor Who scarf.
That's good.
Brilliant.
So good.
Terrible.
Brilliant.
Hey, you got to be tough with these kids. You do. You know.
Perry Chan, King.
All right, so back to WandaVision. Because you know what? They could
the WandaVision show.
I'm torn because I really enjoyed the episode, right? And even despite the fucking, there's flaws in it. Again, with the boss being a dick and emulating Captain Marvel. Although Monica Rambeau showed a little shade. Where do you guys think they are going to go? I know where they could go. They could go multiverse. They could fix fucking everything. They could just pluck from every franchise they own all the best bits and put it together and reset everything right around the snap or something, and including bringing back Iron Man and Cap, however way you want to do it. But
I don't see that happening.
What do you think they're really going to do?
I think Iron Man and Cap come back.
I think.
I absolutely think they come back because they need them.
I got lied to.
Downey Jr. is the shock moment. If he's the Luke Skywalker moment, I will lose my shit.
That would be crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, right? At the end of this episode, I was fucking shouting at the screen. When the doorbell rang and Vision was just like, she's like, no, it's not me. I didn't ring that. And then it's just, then they had the little thing. And then when she went to the door and opened the door, and I'm just like, oh my God, who is it? And then it panned back, and then you saw the hair, and I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Pietro. And then I didn't, but I thought it was going to be, the Aaron Pietro. So I'm just like, oh my fucking God. And then it pans, and it's fucking Evan Peters, and I'm just like, fuck!
I thought everybody knew
at my screen.
I thought everybody knew about this because
I knew about it.
there was tons of rumors before the season started that this would happen, and then
I was stay away from him.
I'm off Twitter, so I haven't.
But there was a leak. I guess that's true. Like there was a leak. I want to say 5 days ago, where somebody uploaded what looks like a mid-season trailer. Like after next episode of WandaVision, it looks like a trailer that they would use to like hype it up. Like that had Quicksilver, like it showed Quicksilver. It also showed a couple other things I won't talk about, but like I thought everybody knew about it because it was huge. And
well,
so
I will say,
with
her mentioning her brother in the episode, though, that took away a little bit of the surprise element. But then it was Evan Peters, so it was like, holy shit! Wait a minute, I didn't see.
No, they've been setting it up.
They spoke about him, but they never showed Aaron. They never showed him. They never showed his face. Right. So I was just like, oh, they're mentioning it because obviously it was in Age of Ultron and they're not trying to disguise the fact that she had a brother. But I thought because they were actively not showing any imagery of Aaron, that he, whatever reason, he was non-contracted, so they weren't going to show. So I actually didn't expect it to be Quicksilver at the door. I actually thought it was going to be Doctor Strange at the door.
I'm still not 100% sure it is Pietro, because like the thing is I was told he was playing Mephisto.
I've heard that rumor.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like I heard some things about this, and either my guy lied to me or he did it on purpose so he didn't spoil it. Because like,
no, it's been out there for a while. I mean, there's physical or there's imagery.
Yeah. But like even at the end of the episode, even what's her face, Kat Dennings says that she recast him. So there's something to it, obviously. But
I said it before we got here, Tom, if you listen, like I often turn the descriptive audio on because sometimes you hear things like for the Mandalorian, that's how we realized they were dark troopers, because the descriptive audio said it. So the descriptive audio for that says it's Pietro as he appears in the X-Men films. Like that's what it said. So it wasn't like just saying that's a person. It was, it was actively mentioning Quicksilver from the X-Men films. So that to me tells me like they're linking it, and why wouldn't they? Of course they would. Like,
well,
I'm actually very surprised that they would link to the Fox X-Men films.
No, well, I mean,
they own them now, so why not?
They own them now, and Eric,
they own them, but the whole thing is they would want to do their own X-Men. So does this mean they're actually going to pluck from the old X-Men now?
Not necessarily, because it could be somebody else playing, and Toby's coming back, and Andrew Garfield. So you weren't here earlier. I said maybe Mephisto is using his likeness and he just plucked from the wrong reality because he was in a hurry or something. I don't know. And
I like that idea.
Eric, I don't know. I mean, you're younger than most everybody is. And I read this mini series. It's a 4-part mini series that I fucking loved by Al Milgrom. I forgot who wrote it now. And it's Mephisto versus, and it starts out with Fantastic Four, and it's X Factor, and then X-Men, and then it ends with the Avengers, and Mephisto wants to get the soul of Thor, right? Or wants the soul of a god. And, it's been years since I read it. I own it. It's a fucking great miniseries. And that just reminded me a little bit of that. And Mephisto's a good bad guy. He's a legit bad guy that I hope they don't just waste in the series and make him a throwaway dumb thing, kind of like what they did in Captain Marvel. So I don't know if you've read that or not, but I definitely got that vibe. There's other stuff they're basing it on, but like you said, they're taking stuff that we're going to recognize to keep us somewhat, comic book fans, to keep us somewhat engaged, and then they're going to go in there. Here's Miss Marvel.
Completely different tangent. Yeah, like it's like when when he brought up the fact that the chick could be literally, I was like,
diversity is our greatest
I wasn't even
strength.
thinking about that until it was brought up, and then you consider what happened with Marvel. It's like, yeah, she absolutely could be who they say is Mephisto. It would suck, but that's absolutely the route that they go. I have no idea which route they were going to go. Much like Az and everybody else here that again was not in the loop on what was going on. I was just. And I didn't see that coming. I didn't even understand what was actually happening until, he showed his face, and then I'm like, what the hell is this? And the whole recognition of the recasting was a kind of odd rhetoric to use in that given scenario. So it's hard to say. I mean, we can, and I think what's gonna happen is it's kind of like what you're doing, Gary. It's like best case scenario. What does this mean? Is that in the event that they actually wanted to, they could fix this shit. Like, just period. If they wanted to do it, they could fix it. Unfortunately, we're dealing with Marvel, Disney's Marvels, and we consider the direction that they go in. And it's like the obvious thing that they could do, they almost don't do. And I don't know if it's I feel like they do a lot of shit out of spite, to be completely honest.
Because they do. That's why.
Yeah, they do a lot of things that I don't think that the Captain Marvel thing, like as far as the movie, was an accident. Like they just I think that was done out of spite. That was done purposely. Those needless changes. So it's awesome, this idea that, okay, well, you can acknowledge the fact that there have been other versions of that same character that exist, and you're willing to bring them in, which is the big reveal of this. It's like, okay, they're at least willing to pluck from what was considered different universes. So everybody's mind starts thinking, well, does that mean that we're going to see this version of this character? Or does that mean that since there's multiple universe kind of thing going on, does that mean that we're going to get other versions of the same character that are going to be brought in? So we talked about Fantastic Four, and this is a way that they could just say that they've always been around. You weren't familiar with them because they didn't. But it's like, it's too obvious, right? That's like, and that's why I don't want to. I want to believe it, but I can't, because I'm like, well, that just makes too much fucking sense. It makes too much sense.
I didn't even think about it before, but we were talking about the Loki show a while ago, and I said I'd heard for forever that they were going to have female Loki be in this show. And at that point, I wasn't sure. Maybe it's Loki shape shifting. You know what I mean? Maybe they're going to do something like that. Maybe just an alternate version of Loki. I didn't even think about that before. But with multiverses, if that's the plan that they have forward, maybe that is the case. Well, and it opens up so much shit.
I think Ryan said it right though. If it makes too much sense, you need to start getting worried with these fucking companies.
I know.
If it makes it's kind of like, and not to bring up the Star Wars point, but like that makes too much sense what we were talking about. There's no fucking way Lucasfilm is going to do that. Same with Marvel. Yeah.
But again, you're getting in. This is why it's like there's plenty of guys that are like us that are super fans that don't mind writing for these companies, and unfortunately that's not who they're picking up. And so that's what I catch myself doing just when I get a little antsy. Like I remember getting two in, they had me in the first half, they'll never do it again. That was with the Warlock thing, the Adam Warlock thing. I was like, holy shit, they're actually going to reference the source material. Like you're going to see Adam Warlock come save the day, and then we're gonna move into a whole. Everything was set up perfect. Like you had, Gamora, everybody there, so that could have led into Adam Warlock and the Infinity Watch of all of them going their separate ways with an individual gem. I was like, this is the obvious thing that's gonna happen. Motherfucker doesn't even get a reference. So now I'm to the point to where I don't even want to see Warlock show up because they missed an opportunity. There is no Warlock and Thanos. That's a big deal, and because Thanos is out of the picture now. What the fuck? I know, you're gonna bring him in, but it's like, what's the fucking point? The main reason why he should have been there, you dropped the ball. Like, and this is why I always said, wouldn't it have made more sense to do like a Thanos origin film instead of a Captain Marvel movie?
That would make sense. They're switching out the old guard. That they're embarrassed of Iron Man being the head of their franchise.
Yeah,
and Captain America. They're well happy to see the back of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is the changing of the guard now. This is the bring on the fucking Brie Larson.
And
bring on the fucking female. They're gonna now dominate for the next part. So no, they don't want to do stuff like that because then that will put a male back in charge again.
Yeah,
they teased Warlock twice. in both Guardians of the Galaxies. In the first one, at the end, in the collector's thing, there was a cocoon that was labeled Adam Warlock that was broken open. Never said anything about that. And then again, you have a different, with Howard the Duck, and then with a different form of cocoon in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Aisha, like you said.
And they did it out of order for intersectional feminism. And
of course, that should have been my the red flag. Like, why the fuck is Aisha existing before Warlock any fucking way? She didn't fucking create Warlock. Like, no, it's actually the other way around, as she being created to be his his other half essentially. And it's like, the fuck, like, so that should have been, I guess, my red flag. But it's so bizarre that they just never even touched on that, which was such an obvious thing. Like, why that wasn't, because if it was me, it would have been an easier Thanos origin film, and then you could have went that route. You could have even addressed the whole Marvel thing. Like, you could have said that, okay, like maybe back in the gap, Thanos and Marvel went at it. Like, that was the first, because again, and that's what happened in the books. That was his first big nemesis was Marvel before Adam Warlock, but that just makes too much fucking sense. It makes too much sense to have, instead of Captain Marvel, who again is literally irrelevant to other than to show how powerful she is, she has no bearing on the outcome of Endgame. So there was no point to her being there, other than we wanted her to exist as a strong character. Never mind the fact we already had Scarlet Witch. We wanted her to exist, and we shoehorned her into the universe. So now, when it looks like something painfully obvious, like, well, wait a minute. Now that you have all the rights to these characters, you can do the shit the right way that can be engaging, not only for folks like myself who read the motherfucker out of these books, but also people who just want to see a nice little action film. And this is why I don't give them, when they deviate so far from the comic books to where they're just not fucking the character, I don't give them leeway on that, because it's not like those people would give a fuck anyway. The people that they're trying to appeal to, you give them some explosives, some shit, they'll be fine, right? You can literally copy exactly what happened in a book. DC does it with their fucking animated films, where they're basically copies of literally what happened. The Flashpoint, which is one of the best animated fucking films that I've ever seen, is just literally, like, I think the only thing that was different was like Tom.
There's a few differences, but it's all right.
It was a good film, though.
But no, it was like, firstly, it was basically verbatim, aside from, okay, sword versus a gun with Thomas Wayne's Batman. It was the same fucking plot. It was the same shit. So if they want to reference the source material and honor it with slight changes, they could do it, and the fans of maybe not the books would eat it up. So unfortunately, we can't sit up here and look at it from the standpoint of, it makes sense, because they don't give a fuck what makes sense. And they've now shown you with what they're doing, not only in the books, now that we know those connected. We talked about it on my show, Gary, how Feige now is over all of this shit. It's all connected. All of it. So I can literally reference the dumb shit that's going on here. And I can say, well, shit's probably going to happen, in the live action. So unfortunately, we can't go by what makes sense, and it sucks, because it's painfully obvious that multiverse, you can fix this shit. All you have to do is you'd be pulling a Crisis, and you'd be saying that because of the snap and this whole multiversal theory, they essentially got merged. So now you have characters that we, the audience, weren't familiar with, but they're existing, having already existed in their own universe. But that just makes too much sense.
Yeah, and I think a big, like, if you ask just like a random person on the street, you're like, hey, do you think the MCU needs to be fixed? People be like, what?
True. Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean? Like, it's just not something I think they're focused on.
Nope. Well, here's the thing: is we all talk about this, things that could happen. Because let's go back. The only thing that really where Marvel has really screwed the pooch has been Captain Marvel. I mean, if you really, really want to argue about it,
that and the snap.
Down to it. Well, the snap can be, we can discuss that, but like my point is that, like, I'm willing to give Kevin
not the snap, the 5-year gap. I mean,
well, I'm willing to give Kevin Feige I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt until he goes completely overboard, because with Captain Marvel, in Bob Iger's book, he takes complete responsibility for that. Like, that was his baby. It was almost like he shoved it in there on Feige.
That's obvious.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit. And with this whole idea of pulling in other versions of the characters now, because we knew Deadpool was coming back. Like, so this kind of was opened up a little bit when they said, yeah, we're bringing back Ryan Reynolds. He's going to get an R-rated Deadpool 3. And he's in the MCU. Answers. That was the part that stuck out to me was, okay, so how are you going to bring him into the MCU?
Captain Marvel's going to lead the Avengers.
Who said that recently, though?
Who's denied it? What have we seen that
I'm just going to say this one thing, Gary. That statement
Captain Marvel 2 is in production right now.
It is, but guess what? They're also introducing new Captain Marvels. We got Monica Rambeau now, and then we're getting the other one too.
I don't think she'll be Captain Marvel.
I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that they were, the reason, they were going to fire Gina Carano because they really wanted her over at Marvel. She was going to be the next Captain Marvel. That's what I heard.
Thanks for that. I'll put that one in my.
It should have been Katie Sackhoff.
Well, we all know that.
Sorry. No, I mean, I have to. Whenever we talk about this dumb fucking bitch, I have to fucking. Well, she is. I mean, Brie Larson's just a dumb bitch. Let's just be,
charisma void.
Yeah, just she's provocative, and not in a good way. She's provocative in a fucking argumentative way. She's there to try and piss people off. She says the dumbest of fucking shit. She's a liar. She's a known liar. Her castmates don't fucking like her. You could see that through and through. This isn't a nice person. Let's not pretend that she's a fucking nice person. This is clearly a fucking bint and a half, and it's been horribly miscast. And Katie Sackhoff was not just the perfect casting; she's the perfect age, she's the perfect look, she's got the fucking experience in this sort of genre. Katie Sackhoff would have been a fucking Captain Marvel. I would have turned up to the cinema to watch Captain Marvel, Katie Sackhoff all day, every fucking day, all day, every fucking day. They fucked up the
Brie Larson staying Captain Marvel. I mean, because Monica Rambeau can be there's Monica Rambeau has 3 different superhero names she can use.
Photon, right?
Photon, Pulsar, and Spectrum.
Yeah. And that's what I hope they go, because again, they already fucked the character, and I have to concede that point. So I hope going forward because that's going to be the worst case scenario for me, is that she ends up becoming Captain Marvel, and then at that point you're just a shadow. And it goes back to this whole idea of what happened in her movie where...
Oh, you know what they're going to do is they're going to be like, well, you demanded it, fans. You said you wanted Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel, so here we go.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if they make her that. And that's what's going to suck. Because it's already set up for that because of what happened in the movie, but also what's going on now here with that sort of animosity that just rings of, okay, they're going to have some sort of conflict, makeup, she's going to inherit the name. It's already set up. It sounds like that's how they're going to spell it out.